welcome in this evening. Thank you all so much for being here. We have a slightly bigger panel this evening, but Max joined us last minute because he is feeling like getting back into the game. So thank you for being here tonight, Max.
Oh my gosh, no, thank you so much for having me. I was like, I need to get my live stream legs, under me again and kind of see what this feels like. And I've been away from everyone for so long. It feels good to just be around friends again. So
nice.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah.
No worries. Thank you for being here. So, and we of course have our Salty Texas. Salty just is going to hold my hand for the rest of my live streaming life.
She's not kidding. She's going to the Dallas. She goes to the Dallas Fan Expo and she's like, I'm just going to hold on to the back of your shirt. And I'm like, okay. so that's happening. But
make sure you wear deodorant.
Wait, me or Alasia? Probably tell Alasia.
Both of you.
Okay. But I'm glad to be here. Thanks.
You're welcome. All right. And thank you for coming on tonight, Zax. I deeply appreciate it. How are you today?
I am great. And if you need someone to hold your hand through streaming, it's Salty. He's the guy.
Okay. Yes.
He is. Yeah. I'm great. 100%. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Tug Starlin, how are you this evening?
I'm okay.
Yeah,
hanging in there.
Good. I'm glad. And she will only be with us for an hour because you are going to be on Mario Kart tonight. So we are so happy you came to be with us during this first hour, my love. And then Lady G, thank you for coming on for the very first time. I've been dying to get you on this stream, and I'm so glad you could join us tonight. How are you, dear?
I'm good. Thanks. Thank you for having me on. And I will do my absolute best not to get into a super impassioned rant about anything and take over, because that tends to happen. Max can just like reach down and smack me.
Girl, you can rant all you want. I love your rants. All right, well, let me say hi to the chat just really fast. We already have 20 people in here. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button. I know I saw like 2 hours before the stream, Rosie and Untamable were entertaining each other. Rosie was juggling chainsaws, so that's cool. I hope she's okay. I think she might have lost a toe in there somewhere. I know Cajun is here. I think he's going to be lurking, so thank you for that, Cajun. My mom is here, and on that note, I have a $10 donation from my mom, so I am going to give her this one.
If you want him, come and claim him.
Liv Tyler is such a goddess.
I love this. Right? Ugh. I still hate her.
But there's no strong women in Lord of the Rings.
There's none.
That's why they had to make Galadriel a man.
And sit like a man too.
Hold back. I know we'll talk about it, but just
I know.
Unadulterated rage, yo.
She's such a badass. She has a six-handed longsword. Did you guys notice that on the cover? 6 hands. Like it's, it's literally, it's 6 hands.
So if I do watch a bit of Shadiversity, and if I remember correctly, that is actually a ceremonial broadsword. So that's not going to do anything.
Sword. Yeah, it's a war sword. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
but it's a great phallic replacement in iconography. So
yeah, and you know what Mando pointed out, the way her dagger, like, not only is that chainmail hanging strategically, she's got a dagger in her hand, which I didn't even click for me.
Oh, it did.
No.
Yeah, it looks like a very small penis too. So there's a lot of that going on that magazine cover. I'm using medical terminology that are biologically based. There's nothing inappropriate here. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Look, all I'm saying is, one, the reason guys sit like that is because you have stuff in the way.
We do.
2, in what realm of existence is Galadriel dingy?
I know.
Like, she looks dingy. I actually may have been able to forgive you if you wanted to put her in armor. Not like that. It looks like she's wearing dirty rubber.
She does.
Ooh.
And well, we'll get into it, but I'm going to bring up those covers and I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if y'all saw that, underneath, where her knee is, where the shin guards are, I don't know what they're called. You can see the how polyester based those leggings are that she's wearing. You can see the folds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's bad. Salty, if you could bring that up. Greaves, thank you.
You were on my stream though when I weren't you, Alasia? When I pulled up the boot, were you on that stream with me? Okay, guys. So the scene from that teaser trailer, one
Yeah.
of the elves riding alongside Galadriel has a Cabela boot on.
No.
I heard
It's
that
a boot
too.
from Cabela's. I can literally pull it up. I brought it up when I live streamed about it, but yeah, it's literally a boot from Cabela's. I'm gonna find it whilst we react to this trailer because I'm gonna be honest, Hunger Games is not anything I've ever read.
Okay. Hi, dear. No worries. And yeah, chat. Thank you all so much for being here. G'day. First time chatting in the live stream. Been loving it. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ben. I really deeply appreciate that. That is awesome. Welcome in, and welcome to everyone else who is here. I so appreciate y'all's support. So quickly, before we get into this stream, this reacting to the trailer, Max, you and I have a small announcement that we're going to try and start driving into people's heads.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahed.
Go ahead.
No, this is your idea. You take it away.
You guys are way too in sync. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's why we made sure that we were going to do the announcement. We were going to do it simultaneously and say the exact same thing, but we'll just
without pre-deciding what we were going to say. We just know what each other's going to think, right?
Exactly. So yeah, a while ago I mentioned that I'm going to be starting my master's program, and one of the classes that I have is going to be on a Monday night, which is where Max's Man Cave, is as of right now. But what Alasia and I are going to do is we're going to swap stream schedules, and then that way we can allow our fans and our friends to be on both streams, and we're not like splitting the fan base, So starting July 10th, I want to believe, or I want to say it is, which will be a Sunday, I will have the Sunday slot, and Alasia will have the Monday slot. So we'll just be switching a day. But we wanted to do this like a month early before I even start classes, so that people can kind of get into the rhythm of hanging out with us, the man cave on Sunday and hanging out with Alasia on Monday. So that's kind of what we wanted to address real quick.
You guys are so cute.
Yeah,
that means though, Alasia,
switcheroo. Yeah.
You have to wear silkies now, Alasia. Those are the rules on Mondays.
That's
true.
Yeah.
Tough but fair.
Okay, so we've already had our first session.
I am going to say that word the entire hour I'm here just so I can see that.
But do you know why,
That is
Tugs?
amazing.
But do you know why, Tugs? It's because you're so silky. That's why you are the silkiest Tugs ever.
Like any of you.
I saw it initially on, I think it was John's stream, right, Alasia? And then he sent it to you, and then I saw it on your stream though, with Megan and with Salty and everyone. And I was like, if this becomes like a worldwide thing, it may need to have T-shirts made. I'm not sure.
I agree. I agree.
That is a good idea. Get with John, because I saw
Absolutely.
that with John and Roman and McKenna. And at one point, Lady G, I want to get your thoughts on silkies, because I think that they're women repellent. Tugs loves them. I hate them. And I begged John to send me that clip, because I didn't know how to do it. And I was like, John, I will pay you if you send me that damn clip. And luckily he did. So shout out to John
Are we talking about silkies, like military silkies?
Yeah.
I love those things. I ran TFT in those things.
Yes,
they're fantastic.
Lady G,
We got
coming
a
in
quorum.
for the win.
You're never on my stream ever again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Girl, but have you worn them? Have you worn them?
I don't care about them on women. On men, they're women repellent. It's gross.
Thank you, Max. Thank you,
First
Max.
of all, okay, no. I don't know about the men that Max ran or runs with, or what men you've seen in silkies, but I'm telling you right now, those things are anything but women repellent when they're on the right dude.
They're women repellent. Hi, Purple. Thank you for being here, dear. All right,
Purple.
let's just all of you hush. I want to watch this trailer. Okay,
It
now
looks
hold
pretty
on.
good. It looks pretty good on Max.
You're
I believe
you're
it's
the
on
one
right-
derailing your own stream over there.
No,
We're
I
just
am.
Yeah, you
behaving
started.
ourselves.
It's okay. Silkies are worth the derailment. I will
Yes,
I
stand
agree.
by that.
No, they're not. I just
Ugh,
you and I are gonna have a
amazing.
heart to heart. Okay, now hold on. I've never done this before. Do I have to do I play it for so many seconds and then pause it and then talk
Yeah.
for a minute?
Don't try not to play more than like 6 seconds at a time.
Yeah, 7
Okay.
seconds tops.
I don't know if they'll even get you for it, to be honest. It's just a trailer reaction.
Yeah, you know what? Hold on. I need to make sure
Is
I'm
there-
sharing
but
They
this
is
can't
there-
video.
copyright you. They can only they can't claim your
Music.
channel because you're not doing money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Really.
William
Right,
Marine
we
says
get-
Silky Sundays. Oh, Max, that's genius.
Harley Dave, he's in my corner. He always knows exactly what to say. And sure
Harley, you're
enough,
losing your wrench.
Harley
I
Harley
will,
is also
I will 100% appear for Silky Sundays.
Undresses
Like,
and Silky.
There you
yes,
go.
Harley.
Lady G.
enjoy.
We need an entire Marine stream because it's going to be me, Harley, and Lady G.
Yeah.
We'll
Matt.
all wear silkies.
I'm
It'll
here
be
for
great.
it.
Alicia, before you start, I've got an
Yeah.
image of the book. Can you go ahead and take my screen and just so we give people a context for this?
Sure, yes, I
Alright,
can.
go
I
ahead
don't
and
know
take
how
it.
I've never read this book.
Oh, nope, wrong image. Oh, yeah. That was Marines
there-
in Silkies.
I didn't see it.
What was it? Pull it
Must
up. Ah!
Wow.
Cold as
Kicked him
ice.
out.
That's cool.
Willing to sacrifice.
Your love. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Sorry.
And it's now a karaoke stream.
Yes, it is.
I'm here for it.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
let me just watch this trailer, damn it. Okay, here we go.
Which wants to watch the trailer, guys?
Can you guys hear it?
No,
Did I not share the audio?
I don't know. Did you share the audio?
That's a good
definitely
question.
Mm-hmm. Make sure your
Nope, I
audio's
didn't.
up on it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go.
There it is.
Oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for those who
I
don't
haven't
know,
seen anything yet. What are you happy about?
it's a tree. It's a tree branch.
no, so there's like
It's a snake.
winter
It's the
plays a
hanging
big
snake.
part in this book. Like that's how Panem, like there was this horrible like freeze, and so Panem went through like several years, basically an ice age before we get to the Hunger Games. So like this is hearkening to this basically this ice age that they went through. So I'm sorry, like this is like a deep cut for me, and I'm so happy.
Can I ask a spoiler question?
Yes.
Is the reason why they're having this winter, is it a nuclear winter or is it just an unexplained climactic change?
It's like, you know, I mean, like
Okay.
climate goes up and down, so it's
I
the
mean, like it
world.
does naturally. Yeah, like it
Exactly.
does
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah, you
okay.
know,
Just
like
making
when
sure.
when my
Yeah.
mom was little and
Yeah.
she went trick or treating, she had to wear a coat because it'd be snowing. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm not a biologist, but I don't think snakes do well in the winter.
They
They
don't.
really don't.
No, they don't.
Songbird ain't looking too good either.
oh boy. I'm sorry, like this is making me freak out for absolutely no reason.
I want to be so excited with you and for you, but I personally hated the Hunger Games movies and
I have a
the entire
question.
premise because it was a ripoff of Am I
Go ahead,
supposed to-
Lady G.
Oh,
Battle
No, go
Royale.
ahead.
I
No,
thought
go
Max
ahead.
was telling me to stop, so I was gonna
No.
stop.
No, no,
He like
No,
held
no,
up
no.
his hand and I was
What
like,
is it a
oh.
ripoff? What is
Isn't
it a
that
ripoff?
isn't that the Hunger Games thing? Don't they do that?
Yes. Yes.
I have,
okay.
oh,
That's
that's
what I was doing.
I thought it
No,
was
it's
that's the
this.
Scouts.
Oh,
It's the Scouts.
Three.
So
that's
you
what
it's
it is,
you
sorry.
kiss it and then you that's your salute. So anyways,
Oh,
Lady G,
yeah,
what-
that's-
I
have
volunteer
her-
as tribute.
Stop it.
I volunteer Alasia's tribute
So
for
okay,
District
Yes.
13.
Battle Royale is I want to say it's a Korean film and it's back
Mhm.
from like the 90s
Mhm.
and it's grade school kids and it's much more actually gruesome than the Hunger Games, but it's the
Mm.
same basic concept. They get picked, you have a chance to get picked, but once your class gets picked, you never get picked twice. There was a sequel anyway. But essentially, you wear these collars, and there's these giant blades that fly through and can decapitate you. And you try to like have someone else stand in your place, and they get their head decapitated, and not you. Like it's literally battle royale. It's the last person standing, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's grade school kids, and that's basically what the Hunger Games is.
And it's
Yeah.
awesome. The
Well, the
movie's
movies
awesome.
made
Yeah.
them. The movies made them older than what they were, just like Game of Thrones did.
Yeah,
if you read
they
the
did.
books,
The movies were
the
much
books
older.
are way brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
the books are much
Yeah.
more brutal.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
books
like
were
Rue.
much better
Rue was the
across
only
board.
one. Yeah, the Rue was the only one that really stuck to her age, and even then, she still looked older. So no,
Yeah.
I know it's a ripoff. I've heard people say that, and like you know, in the terms of like violence and stuff, it's not anywhere near as bad as it could have been. But I don't. I'm sorry. I loved it because we were at me and my sister were at that age, so that's why.
Well, I'm glad you love it. I have
I
added.
know.
It is all
I know.
yours.
I
You
like-
take it and run with it. PETA
I
drives
like
me
the-
absolutely nuts. He's a beta male cuck, but I'm going to
Yeah,
move
I
on
don't
from
like
that.
Beta.
I liked the first movie. I really did. I thought the
Mhm.
second one was a pale shadow compared, and the last three were, to me, they underrepresented just how politically driven the
Yeah.
third book was, because the
Yeah.
third book was really, really good, just in the same way
Mhm.
that Ender's Game has a movie failed to really mention the
Yeah.
complexities
Mhm.
of politics.
Yeah.
The same thing with the last two Hunger Games movies.
There's
Yeah,
5
okay.
Hunger Game movies.
So there's 4.
There's
No,
four.
There's 4 of them.
It feels
And
like
now
5,
there
but
will be
there's
5.
4.
Ben, okay, so me and my sister loved it, and I know people are always leery, like if one book comes out so much later than the rest of the books, can it be any good? Because Mary Stewart's Merlin Saga, the last 2 books, people are like, don't even read those books because they're so bad. My sister and I loved it, and we were both like, we don't know if this is going to be any good, but it's so radically different from the Hunger Games. And because it's the establishment of the Hunger Games, like how they even came to fruition, and the
Okay.
politics behind it. So I loved it, and it was like, and to me, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was psychologically creepy, not violent. There's this book was a lot more like in your head psychological, because it's from Snow's perspective. So just like think of like a book being from Snow, like entirely Snow's perspective, and think of like, it was creepy. It was a lot of creepy. So I loved it.
But can I ask you this? Because I made a broad generalization on the show probably a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
That was, are they turning Snow into a sympathetic villain in this? Is this part of some agenda type move and a convenient narrative for that? Or is it legitimately a good story?
No, I think it was legitimately a good story. So for me, so Snow was a sociopath. And that's how she wrote him. Like legitimately, she wrote him as a sociopath. Like
That's
he
why
is
I asked, yeah.
mentally unstable.
Mhm,
What my
mhm.
concern is that now playing into the politics of Hollywood is this could go one of 2 ways, or 3 ways. It could actually be good, but let's not hold our breath too soon. It could make either Snow a sympathetic character and make him like that, like psychologically creepy and taking over basically the United States and make it a good thing, or they could just use it to push a white man bad narrative. I don't know. And I haven't looked into any articles about it yet because they've kept it so under wraps, and it just seems like it's flown under the radar. So I don't know. I really, 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 really hope it's good. I really do, because within that fan base, this book was really well received. So yeah, all right, hold on, I'm gonna do it for a second. Oh.
I like that logo.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I hope this is good because I'm like out of my mind excited.
I will tell you this much. That is far better than the title reveal for Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I will give it that.
True story.
Yeah.
True
It
story.
was far better.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I can't believe that they made a practical. You guys know that title reveal was all practical effects, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
And they made it look they made it look
That's
like cheap
embarrassing.
CGI. I was
Yeah, it's
like,
embarrassing.
when I found out
Yeah.
that it was practical effects, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Honest
Same
to God.
here. I was floored. And you know what's so funny? So my mom is like, I mean, if you think I haven't seen any movies or if I know anything about pop culture references, my mom makes me look like I'm the editor of Vogue. I don't even know. Like, I mean, my mom just doesn't. She likes movies. She watches things occasionally, but like it's just my mom is not into.
Your mom is the ultimate normie, and she's proud of it.
She is, and I am proud of being a normie too. But so I showed her that trailer, and I was like, "Mom, I want you to react to this." And I wish I'd been filming her. And I was like, so I made her watch it, and I was like, was that CGI or was that a practical effect? And she's like, no, that whole thing was CGI. And she's like, it's bad CGI from the 90s. And I was like, nope, that whole thing was practical.
90s CGI.
Yes. So even if my mom can spot it, I was like, that's bad.
There's a part in the first Blade movie with Wesley Snipes where at the very end he like cuts off the head of like the main antagonist and like or it's like his body and like blood kind of splatters all over or whatever.
Yeah.
It's this kind of fluid CGI that's very, very 90s. And this is 1998, I think the Blade came out.
Yeah.
And all I could think about when I was watching the magma or the molten,
Yeah, the metal.
the metal like falling through the cracks is I was like, this looks like the blood from Blade. This is how bad it looks like. It's just brute. They managed to make it look, worse than 90s CGI.
Well, all the work went into the dick rocket, so they didn't have anybody from the art team to work on the Lord of the Rings, right? I mean, that makes sense.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah.
So with this trailer, Alasia, you missed out by not just having yourself be the big screen and a tiny little view of the trailer, because that was the best part of the trailer was watching you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
It's all right. It'll be fine.
Next time we'll just make Alasia we'll put her full screen. And just watch her watch the trailer.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm so excited right now. I hope it's good.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool how they played on. So the songbird and the snake is a huge theme throughout the book, and I'm not going to give it away why, but there's a girl obviously involved, and she's a songbird. So that was really cool because like that basically encapsulated that whole book, that animation. Like I can't even tell you how good that was. So okay, so sorry, I just had to indulge me because I saw it on Instagram and it literally dropped 30 minutes ago, and yeah.
Hey Lage, it's your stream. You don't have to apologize to us.
Well, I know.
We're at your whim. It is fine.
Can I ask a question because of the iconography with this?
Sure.
The songbird, we see a brooch that Katniss is given at the sort of the bazaar, which is then taken down by the dicks from the Capitol. Is that the same icon and the same brooch? That's what I wanted to confirm.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
okay.
And
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is. It's a Mockingjay, and this is when. So by the time we get to the Hunger Games, the Mockingjays have interbred with, I want to say, finches. They're interbred with something, so they're not the same birds that we will see in the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake. These will be actual Mockingjays that can actually talk. So these birds are going to be even creepier. So that was an actual mocking. That was a jabberjay. I'm getting my birds mixed up. That was a jabberjay in the Hunger Games. It's a Mockingjay. So the jabberjays can actually talk. So that's a precursor to Mockingjay. But the Mockingjays can sing so beautifully, and so the jabberjay is symbolic with what will be established in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah, the jabberjay is bred with whatever bird, and that's how you got the Mockingjay.
Yes,
if I remember right.
Yeah. I'm a bit concerned about the current Little Planet. Rebels are not praised anymore, but repressed. I hear you. I feel the exact same way. I'm not. I am worried. I'm not gonna lie about it. Because it is. I mean, and what's going to be even creepier is that the fact that it's told from the perspective of the people who established the Hunger Game. It's not told really from the perspective of the people who resist the Capitol. It's like the people who made this come into be.
It's people who won.
It's the people
History
who won.
is written.
Ooh, do we get to witness the genocide?
We'll probably see it in the books. It's in flashbacks. So Snow was very, very young when it happened. and he remembers snatches of it.
Ooh.
So we don't see the whole genocide, but we do definitely, and we see it also from the capital. We don't see it from the districts. So so we don't see the war proper, but we do get callbacks to it. So
It would be like if Seattle became the capital after the Civil War in the United States.
So
that's the way these movies feel, or Portland. Yeah.
Well, so in the books it's Denver. Denver is the capital.
Yeah, I meant just the vibe. You know what I mean?
No, I'm sorry.
I know, because Pan Am and the map, and I did a lot of geeking out on what was this and what was that and everything. So yeah, I totally get it. No, I'm excited to see this movie. I'm a little discouraged by the way they're taking it with focusing on snow. I would love to see it from the perspective of the rebels, like you say, but I'm going to give it a chance. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the girl, if they bring up the girl, for the love of me, can't remember her name. If we have Lucy, thank you, Tugs. If we get more of Lucy, I'll be happy, because at this point we really don't have rebels all that much. I mean, Tugs, you read the book. I mean, how do you feel? Like, the rebels don't play a big part in this book. It's everyone is so downtrodden. I think the Hunger Games take them by surprise.
Yeah, it's pretty much at the point where they are just. It's kind of like how we see everybody in Star Wars in the original trilogy versus the prequels. How in the prequels everything's brightly colored and everybody's happy and people can stand up for themselves and whatever. And then in the original trilogy, everything is poor and dark and nobody stands up for anything and anything. Like, it's kind of like that. And so the people are just so done that the government comes in and is like, you know what would be a cool idea? And they're so tempted by the prize winnings too, because you become rich at the end of it in more ways than one. You and your whole family, you get food, whereas you starving the rest of your life otherwise. You know what I mean? So they just kind of are like, oh, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyways, we can talk about it more as time ramps up. We'll be getting more of it. So just thank you guys for indulging me in that. Let's move on to Maverick. And for those who don't know, Tugs wrote a wonderful review of it on geeksandgamers.com. I've never seen the first one. I know I want to. I will get around to it. I have not seen this film, but I wanted to talk about it because I've just seen so much positivity for this movie. And the fans have just been like, this is I feel like you guys feel like this is a love letter to the first movie. I mean, was that wrong? That's definitely how you wrote it, Tags. It's a love letter. So, I mean.
Yeah. This is everything that I think I need to, and I heard this about Ghostbusters Afterlife too. I have not seen that one, but I've seen some people compare Afterlife to this, like that same kind of respect. But this one, Top Gun's one of my favorite movies of all time. I will literally run into a burning building to get it out of the burning building. It's the movie that I fell in love with Val Kilmer watching this movie that movie.
It was it's the beach volleyball that did it for you, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, as a whole, yeah. And I think we can all agree on that. But the minute we see him on screen, I was like, I don't know who this is, but I want one. And I was like 6 years old.
I want one.
It's like Tony Stark in Iron Man 2, where he looks at Happy and he goes,
"Yeah,
I want one." Or I want one.
No.
Now, Tugs, remind me, what were those gentlemen wearing in that volleyball scene? I'm pretty sure they were shirtless. And did they have some sort of short attire?
I can get a screen cap.
No.
Yeah, they were wearing. There's a couple of them. Tom Cruise is in jeans.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Never mind.
What's his bucket is wearing the Silkies though. I can't think of his name now.
It's because he's not scared to show off his package. I maintain to this day the reason that Tom Cruise was not in Silkies, you can't hide in Silkies. You can't do it.
No.
So he was like, I'm not playing this game. No way.
What the heck I can't think of his call sign, but the actor's last name is Rossovich. He's wearing Silkies. Tom Cruise is in jeans, and Anthony Edwards is in jeans and a t-shirt. He's the only one that's got a t-shirt on or shirt on. Everybody else is running around in zero clothes almost.
Yeah.
And it's glorious and totally fine.
Yeah.
And they're all oiled up too. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen an officer volleyball game like that, nor do I need or want to because I have Top Gun.
Yeah. My favorite part about that scene is that the director Tony Scott, who's R.I.P., he didn't tell them when they were doing it. And so they would every day they would all get together and do like push-ups and whatever to get themselves looking good. Like today will be the day. Nope, today's not the day. So they get to work one day and Tony Scott's like, all right, we're going to the beach. Let's go. And they're all looking at each other like, what? So the natural fitness of all those is like natural. They didn't get a chance to like do the pump up that most actors do before they shoot a scene like that. So he kind of dropped the ball on it and dropped them like this bombshell on it. And so the muscles you see on these guys are their actual. They didn't get a chance to kind of puff them up. So whatever athletic ability they have is what they have. It was pretty cool.
Like they did with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, and they didn't have to do any of that.
Oh, and don't get me wrong. Like, I'm so thankful that those guys took it seriously enough to be like, hey, I'm going to be in military shape. We're all throughout the film. We're going to be constantly or consistently in shape and look a certain way. But you bet your ass that they have dumbbells and barbells at every single set on Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America. Those dudes do not look like that walking around. You have to have some sort of pump or some sort of workout to have your muscles look that certain way when they look like they're all carved up. So sorry friends, but that's just the nature of
you can always take Max. You could always take Jack's 3D.
Oh geez, like the what the PX holds in
the one that got banned by the Department of Defense to not be sold on base anymore because they were literally having hearts explode. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Well, that's like getting a shot. Wow.
Yeah.
Like some sort of shot.
Some sort of shot. Yeah. It was.
Yeah, there were kids that were taking it before their PFTs. Because they were like, yeah, this will work in the gym, so it'll work for my PFT, right? It's their physical fitness test where they're running 3 miles and they don't realize that pre-workout isn't for running, it's for lifting. And so they're cardiovascular and stuff. But that's pretty wild. So I'm glad that these guys have stayed in shape. Now, Tugs, was there a volleyball scene in this one as well, or something similar?
There is a similar scene. It's not a Top Gun movie without it. And Tom Cruise looks. I literally was like, this man is a specimen, and we all know he's a specimen in general because he does all of his own stunts and stuff. But if I didn't know he was 60, I would have never believed anybody saying the man is 60 years old. Now they filmed it a couple years ago, so it's he's like 57 or 58 or whatever. But still, I'm like, they play football. They play dogfight football. And it's offense and defense at the same time. And it's Maverick in this movie is their teacher. He's trying to teach them how to be a good pilot and do this crazy, this insane mission that they all have to go on and all this stuff. And so what he does is he brings them, there's Miles Teller. Woo. They bring
contain yourself,
Tugs, to the beach to play this dogfight football, and it's just pure chaos because everybody is offense and defense at the same time. There's 2 footballs flying. It's insane, but it's shot so beautifully. Like on a cinematography point, look at the lighting in this photo she's got up. It's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a beautiful scene to look at, not just because everybody's in with no shirts and stuff on, and then we got a couple of the girlies in their little sports bras and stuff, so for the men too. But it's a good scene. So it's them kind of like building a team building sort of thing, and but yeah, it's good. Tom was like, we had to have a volleyball scene, so you have to, and so but they did football instead. But yeah, it's kind of modern update to it. So and it's all that stuff that is a nod to the first one, which is my favorite part. So you have instead of volleyball, it's football, but it's that same scene. Miles Teller's rooster, who's the son of Goose from the first movie, he does the little dance that Goose does when they're playing volleyball. The same dance, he does it. And when we meet when the students meet Maverick for the first time, the camera focuses on Maverick's watch as he's holding the manual for the F-18s, and which is the same exact shot, literally the same exact shot they did with Kelly McGillis in the original one. When she enters the room, it's the shot on her watch holding the binder, and then you get the big reveal that it's the girl that Maverick hit on at the bar before, and he's like, oh shoot. It's the exact, like, so it's these little nods to the first film that are my favorite, and it's just modern and updated a little bit, and it's so good. I'm going again on Tuesday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't
Did
wait.
I don't know about you guys, but at least in my theater, before the movie started, this was actually my favorite part of the whole thing. Tom Cruise,
Yes.
like,
That was awesome.
He does a heartfelt thank you and everything like that, and I'm like, dude, this is amazing. Like, more studios need to do this, because that's amazing. Like, just like, you knew right then and right there, I knew I was in for a good time, because he's being,
Genuine.
He's being very genuine, and he's extremely appreciative of the fans. So
He didn't call us a bigot or anything.
no.
And he does, and he just is like, thank you so much. You know, this movie is, you know, however many years in the making, 30 years in the making, if you include the first one. And he just is like, thank you for coming, and thank you for choosing to see it on the big screen. Because Tom, that was a big part of the reason they kept pushing it back, because Tom refused to put it on small screens. He goes, I don't make movies for the small screen. I make them for the big screen.
Good for him.
Thank God.
Yeah. These jets deserve to be seen and heard the way that they're meant to be seen and heard. And I love it. And everything in the movie, there's no CGI in this movie. Just a fun fact, there's zero CGI in this movie. They had planes filming planes. The cast is in real F-18s that are being flown by professional Navy fighters. And they have cameras all in the cockpits of each one, so you can see the different angles of everybody. They filmed everything practical. This movie is entirely practical.
I served with one of the stunt pilots, with one who
cool.
sat in for Tom Cruise, Fraser. I served with him.
That's awesome.
When they revealed it, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Fraser!" And
That's
really cool.
awesome.
They were like,
Yeah.
and then they listened. I was freaking out, and my hubby, he comes in, he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's Fraser." He's like, "You said that like 3 times." I'm like, "No." I was
Please
like,
explain.
Yeah. And
he's like, "Oh yeah, I saw that the other day." I'm like, "You asshole, why didn't you show me this?"
That's awesome. And Tom has a lot of people, like, we all joke about all the stunts and he does and stuff, but he legitimately has a fighter jet license, so he does his own flying. I mean, not like the crazy stunt moves and stuff, but he does his own basic flying. He does he does that.
The crazy stunt, like some of the crazy stunt moves you see. So they said that they were Super Hornets, which there absolutely were Super Hornets, but F-18s were that's what I did in the Marine Corps, was F-18s, was jets, was life systems and stuff. They absolutely did have Super Hornets, but there were some legacies in there as well, because the stunts that they were pulling, they're not going to risk a Super Hornet on that. They're going to use the older legacy jets in case something goes wrong.
The cheap ones.
The cheap multi-million-dollar.
If I can go back to what you guys were talking about earlier, the intro to the film about Tom Cruise kind of thanking the fans, I think we're seeing this a lot now. Is this, and I forget who might have mentioned it, whether it was like Critical Drinker or something, but someone was saying that there is this this hunger, this thirst for authenticity, for genuine discussions and genuine people. And so I think that's why people are kind of flocking to this film, not because it's like gonna win any awards, but because they just feel like they're being.
Yeah, I agree. It should.
Yeah, probably
It
should. But because people feel probably just like they're being thanked and they're talking to them like normal people, you know, which I think goes a long way now with authenticity, which we don't have a lot.
Well, he made a movie he thought we would like. You know,
Yes,
that's a big thing. He didn't want to teach us a lesson. There was no lecture. It was just, it was a straightforward, awesome experience, and I loved it. I could have seen it again immediately after. Like, I could have sat through that movie another time and been excited to do so, because there's so much you miss, because a lot of it is so fast. And my wife, who didn't want to go, who I forced to watch Top Gun the week before, she loved it.
I mean, right
She
now,
loved it.
Wow.
I think
Okay, cool.
I think it's sitting at, I think it made like 85 million this weekend.
Yeah,
Like,
it's worldwide. It's at 400 something worldwide. It's only been out for a week. It's just, but it's bananas to think of, because this movie it's such a niche movie too. Like, you know, you talk to a guy, Top Gun, oh yeah, Top Gun, cool, but it's not anything that like people are gonna, you know, it's not this big topic. It's more of like, if you know kind of thing. It's so old and it's such a niche audience. The fact that, and Tom, for all of his faults, you know, his weirdness and stuff, Tom has never made a movie that was preachy. Like he's never, even now, his Mission Impossible movies are what they are. We're not going to be putting these messages in. These are the bad guys. These are the good guys. I'm jumping off this plane. Come at me, kind of thing, whatever. And that's that. And the other thing I love about him, and he did this with the, so the screen Laysia has pulled up right now, that first row, the orange helmet.
This one?
Yeah. So those are the new babies, and they are in the plane. So that he's in a plane with a real Navy fighter in the front. And so, but it's making him look like he might be in the back or the front. Like so the way they did the camera moves are really cool to make him look like, because there's a couple of these F-18s where like Rooster and Maverick at the mission, they're flying solo in an F-18, but really they're in the back. And so they make it look like they're flying by themselves, but they're really not. But so he's really in this jet, and the guy in front of him at his back is a Navy pilot, and they're taking these kids through this thing, and that's how they filmed it. It's so freaking cool. And Tom Cruise gave them a workout regimen, a diet regimen. He made them go up in airplanes. He did it all with him. They did this new training where they had to get out of a fighter seat underwater. They like flip you upside down, and you have to be able to get out of it. You have to be able to get out of the plane in the water and like all this stuff or whatever. It was just crazy.
The Hilo Dunker.
Yeah, he made him go.
Lady G knows all about that.
I do know all
you
about
have to make it authentic. So he was like, this is going to look real. You guys need to make this look real. And the only way to do that is by doing it yourself. And he did this with Henry Cavill too. Henry Cavill in the last Mission Impossible, there's interviews of him talking about how Tom made him learn how to fly. A couple of the guys, the younger guys here, Glenn Powell, the one guy, he got his pilot's license because of the training Tom Cruise put them through. So it just is craziness. It's all bananas. I love it.
Is that Hangman?
Hangman.
Yeah.
No, that's not Hangman. Hangman is, he's not in any of these.
Was that really?
That's in, wait, Hank, right? He's down there. He's in the black helmet.
Alasia, was that really the Rotten Tomatoes score that you pulled up?
Yeah,
it was 99%. Yeah.
Holy.
Isn't that
That's
incredible?
freaking unheard of.
Yeah.
It hit 100.
So
It hit 100. It hit 100.
Yeah, it did.
It did hit 100.
My
at one point.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Alasia, can you look at the top critic scores? I'm curious to see how that plays out, because sometimes there's a lot of play between those. You can over on the
Okay.
yeah. Okay, there you go.
You got higher.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, guys, this movie's amazing.
Yeah.
And like someone point, because I was like 10-10, this is great. There's no preachiness. And they're like, well, it's an unnamed enemy. And I was like, okay,
Great.
but if you've ever seen, I was like, look, first of all, if you've ever seen something like Pulp Fiction, you never actually know what's in the suit. Like the contents of the suitcase don't actually matter. It's the stuff that happens around it. The great thing about this movie is that even though the plot is relatively straightforward, it's done so well. I've said this before. If you can do a trope and do it well, then your audience isn't going to be disappointed. If your plot is simple, but your character is driven and has an arc and has development, and the fact that I really like how they've basically made it where Maverick has never really grown up and is still sort of this daredevil, doesn't have any kids of his own. Nothing.
Never got over Goose's death. He's still
never got
breathing.
over Goose's death. Yeah. Rooster, like he basically adopted Rooster, who now resents him for what Maverick did. And Maverick was trying to protect him, but it did.
Yeah. It's just so good. And the way that they
but he doesn't know the whole story. And then you get that gleaning of the story, and you're like, oh my God, like this is actually like this actually is
more complex.
Yeah. There's actually dynamics and layers, and it all sort of builds one on top of the other. And so you have Ice fixing. So Maverick does does something crazy, and then Iceman makes a call because Iceman he's an admiral. Like no one's gonna screw with him. So he's the Westpac I know none of you know what this means, but except Max. But so he's fleet admiral. No one's gonna screw with him. So he makes a call, and Maverick gets away clean. And then the way, like the interaction between the two of them, I also really actually love how
I bawled my eyes out.
Val Kilmer, I don't know how many of you guys know this, he's beaten throat cancer twice.
Yep.
So that's why his acting career has basically ended. I love how they actually made that part of the movie.
Yes, I was so worried about that. I was so worried. I thought they were gonna kill him off. Like I thought he was gonna be like dead in the movie because the way that they filmed the trailer, like when the trailer was, I was like, oh god,
he's gonna. Yeah, it did definitely seem like someone was gonna die.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so the way he was handled with such respect
reverence.
And I found out that he called Tom. So his agent was like, hey, they're making a Top Gun sequel. Did you hear about this? And he was like, wow, I want in. I need it. And so he called Tom and was like, hey, can I have a role? Like, this is what I was thinking. He came up with the character arc for Ice. He came up with Ice being the admiral. He came up with Ice, like always being Maverick's wingman, just like he said at the end of the movie. He came up with that. And Tom was like, fuck yeah. No, yeah, we're doing this and we're getting you on set. I miss you. And
he and Val Kilmer have been really, really close ever since Top Gun.
Yes.
Like they've been really good friends through actual life. And I'm not gonna lie, if I still had a heart and a soul, that line where it was who's the better pilot would have made me cry.
I bawled my eyes out though. I've seen it twice already and I still cry. Because I love Val Kilmer so much and he's been through such crap and I love it. And Tom Cruise is the reason Val Kilmer was in the original Top Gun in the first place. Tom wanted Val. He said, I'm not doing it unless you're doing it. I want you in this movie. You're going to do this with me. And he was like, yeah, all right, fine. Stupid jet movie. Okay, cool. Whatever. Macho man, blah, blah, blah. And they did it. And and they are friends and they hadn't seen each other in a while. And this interview, I'll have to post it on Twitter. Val was just like, we're brothers. And it was just like no time had passed, but so much time had passed, and all this stuff and whatever. And this was,
well, I have to ask, like, I mean, again, I haven't seen it, but it looks, I mean, was like the way it was filmed. I mean, the scope of it looked like just as stunning as, like, I go back to Dune because Dune, like the visuals in Dune were so beautiful. I mean, did they have like those big panning shots? I mean, it looked like it was visually beautiful.
Yeah, he filmed it in IMAX. It's filmed IMAX. Not all of it.
Part of what he did, I don't know how well known this is, but there are still Lord of the Rings, you know how they have those huge like wide shots of the landscape and stuff. So those are taken in a helicopter. And what's funny is nowadays those shots would usually be taken with a drone. But Tom said that a drone doesn't have instincts, and no matter what, and Max can confirm this, no matter what, you're always going to have that you're going to have that delay from when someone sees when it needs to pan out to when the drone actually does it. It's just inevitable. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are, there's always going to be that delay, that relay delay from the command to the drone. Even if it's a half a second, you still will miss that shot. Yeah. So what Tom did was he allowed some drones to happen in certain for like certain like really tight angles that had to be high up, but for the most part those are all those wide panning shots that are in the film are old school from a helicopter with I'm trying to think of some kind of example. Basically the camera is, the way that it's mounted is it doesn't, when the helicopter moves, the camera won't move. Like all of the shock, all the absorption is taken by the springs, like everything about. So the way that it's mounted, but so the way that happens, it's literally a man up there. He's doing the wide panel shots and everything like that. It's pretty freaking impressive.
That's awesome. They've got cameras strapped to the bottom of these jets in the cockpit, in the glass. Like it's really cool. I can't wait for the Blu-ray to come out so I can watch all this behind the scenes stuff. I'm dying. Like I need to know. Give it to me. So, but it's so good, and it treats its legacy characters with such respect. And they don't demean Maverick, they don't demean Ice, they don't demean the ones that we don't see. You just see photos of them. They don't need to acknowledge it because you're like, oh, it's a military career. This could have gone any 15 different directions, And it's so good. And we introduce these new kids, and the way they're introduced, they get introduced pretty quickly. Like they're all in the bar, and it's like, oh, there's Phoenix. Oh, there's Hangman. Oh, this is this. And you get like very quick, this is who this person is, just real quick. But then as the movie goes, you start to get to know them a little bit more.
Mhm.
And they don't overshadow Mav. He beats the crap out of them. It's hilarious. They think they're all high and mighty, and he just beats the crap out of them in the jets and slaughters them all. And it's cool. So they keep his status as the best, literal, and they don't let these
That's a kill
and overshadow it.
And the cast is diverse, and they never mention it once.
Not once. Yeah, there's a female. There's a female pilot, Phoenix, Monica Barbero's character. I love her. They don't mention
two.
her. Well,
Yeah,
Phoenix
the other
is
one.
the one that the other one you don't really, you just see her. But Phoenix is like the main girl character, and she messes with them for the first second you see them. They treat her like one of the guys. She's up there with them, and they were messing with her, and they don't acknowledge the fact that she's a girl once. They don't even say it. And she you know that she has this respect standing just like they do, because they're the same level of good. In they're all Top Gun graduates.
Yeah.
So
Bob's my favorite.
who?
Bob.
You know who
Bob.
that is? That's Bill Pullman's son.
I believe
Is
it.
it?
Yeah.
I believe it.
Bob is Bill Pullman's son. I'm like, God, I'm old. all these kids are all these actors that I've grown up with are like grown up and making movies. It's weird.
You know they're our age, right? So
weird.
it's like
I know.
It's weird. He was
like,
in
you're
Outer
not,
Range too.
you're
He was
not any
good.
older than these guys are. But like, yeah, no, Bob is by far my favorite.
love
And I love
Bob.
how Phoenix is like, technically Bob's an ace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, he is.
Yeah.
But what was his job though? Because was he
He's a
really a
wizzo.
pilot
He's a
or a
wizzo.
navigator?
Wizzo. Yeah, so he's in the thing about the thing about Hornets, you've got alphas, bravos, charlies, and deltas. And so two of them, so you've got I'm gonna screw this up. It's alphas and charlies are singles, and bravos and deltas are two-seaters. I'm pretty sure. It's been a minute. I'm rusty. I have to double check. But so Wizzos sit in the back, and basically what this is for is so the pilot focuses on flying, and the Wizzo is in charge of navigation, weapons, and I forget what Wizzo stands for off the top of my head. It's been too long, but they're basically in charge of navigation, weapons, and enemy detection, and then of course escape routes. So the backseat. That's why when there's a scene in the movie, Tugs, I don't know if you remember, where they get into a 14.
Yes,
And he's like, he goes, switch the breaker back there. And Rooster's like,
300 breakers.
he's like, which one? And he's like, I don't know. That was your dad's department. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll figure it out. So he's just back there like screwing with these breakers. Like, one of these has got to turn on. And then it's great because he gets lucky.
Yeah.
When he finds it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the things I really love about that movie is that it's
hold
the
on,
pilot
Lady G.
and not the jet. I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
I love that. Yes.
Tugs has got to leave us. She is going to Mario Kart. So, darling, thank you
Big
so much for
return.
coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm sorry I could only stay. I could talk about this movie for literally years.
Yes.
So,
You know what?
anytime you want to talk about it, you just let me know.
I will see it. I can't promise anytime soon, but I will see it, and then we can, because I like this kind of stuff. I'm a Jason Bourne girl, and I love like those kinds of movies. So this sounds like it's definitely my type of movie. So I will see it, and we can talk about it again. But darling, shout out anything you got going on or anything you'd like to talk about before you leave us.
Nothing specific. I think I'm gonna try and do, although I haven't heard from my team, but that's another crisis we'll deal with later. I'm gonna try and do my charity stream this Saturday, upcoming Saturday. So I'll let you know if that ends up not working. I'll keep you guys informed. But other than that, nothing crazy going on. So I'll just see you on Twitch.
Okay, sounds good, dear. All right, we'll have a lovely time raging about Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Bye, Tug.
In the back, minding my own business and pretending
Exactly.
I don't.
All right, darling, love you. Bye.
Guys, love you.
Have a good silky
Yeah.
Sunday, Tugs.
Yes, nah.
Speaking of that,
I will
Speaking
pull
of
it out whenever I need to.
That's what she said.
Oh Lord.
I know.
No.
I'm not a biologist, but are you sure you want to do that? Have you checked your Streamlabs donation?
I know
page
I
lately?
do. I have donations that I need to get to. So Cajun Corey, I hope you're still here, sir.
Streamlads.
What?
Oh, I heard Salty Texas say Streamlads, and I got excited. I was like,
I
oh,
would get excited too.
Well,
That's a
I was
different
like,
movie.
this is a different
anything I can do, like, yeah.
Cajun Corey for $5 says hashtag stop salty hate, hashtag a toxic green. If you guys were here for last Saturday, I made a big blunder. I'm sorry about it. And
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Cajun, this is for you, sir.
I guess I'm not in the mood today. Mood? What's mood to do with it? You fight when the necessity arises, no matter the mood. Now fight! Come on!
Yeah, love that scene. I loved you so
Awesome.
much. So
I was
anyways,
actually shocked how well they did with Dune because
mhm,
I was very concerned,
yeah.
especially with how heinous Wheel of Time was treated. I was terrified,
Yeah.
but I was pleasantly surprised when it came out.
Yeah, I loved it. I knew nothing about Dune. I saw it because Ryan and Jeremy were like, "You guys have got to go see this movie," and I was kind of on the fence about it. So I was like, "Okay," and then I walked out and I was like, "Oh my god, I have to start reading this book." So now I get
Yeah.
the book. Now it makes sense. So yeah. So quickly, I have one more from Salty Texas Sea for $1.
Yay! Yes. What does it say? I spelled the word phonetically for you.
You did. I hate you. Just so you know. It says I, like your eyes, love, sill, like a windowsill, and then keys, like your car keys.
Oh.
Oh.
So,
I didn't know you loved silkies. You heard it here first, folks. So
Yeah, that's Alasia, the first step is really acknowledging it. And that's I'm very proud of you. It's tough, but
I've been harboring it deep in my soul for a long time.
I could
Yeah.
tell.
Thought it was
Telling you
Those
right
nice
that
now,
and
crit-
watch the
clean.
first Top Gun movie, and
Yeah.
you will love Silkies. Those are anything but a woman repeller.
I highly doubt it.
What? Who did you see in Silkies that repelled you, like that you thought it made it a woman repellent? Certainly not Max.
You know
Shots
what? No
fired.
comment. I have
Yeah.
no comment on that part. Um,
Wow.
Wow. Was it because it was too big or too small? That's what we're all
Will
not
you
asking.
stop it?
Alicia.
It's
What?
just
I'm
fun
talking
to
about the
rile you.
size of the silkies. You're the one with your mind in the gutter. God.
no,
Is your mom still here?
I'm sure she is. No, she
Hi,
she
Mom.
mutes it. She mutes it and she goes
Mhm.
away. She just is giving me she
Abuse.
gives me the watch hours. I'm off. Okay, have fun racing, Corey. I deeply appreciate the donation,
Later,
my
Cajun.
dude.
Later, dude.
So I just don't think that we need to be seeing all that out for all to see. I did see them up close. It was like the
Whoa.
most serendipitous
Here
thing.
we go.
It was in a parking lot. I was getting groceries, and I happened to just look over, and there was a man probably about the size of Jay. He was like 6 something, and like his
Okay,
shoulders.
be careful here. Where are we
He
going?
looks like
Where are we
a
going
black
with this?
bear. He was huge. He was a massive man of just a massive man. And he
So
had silkies on.
you saw Bigfoot wearing silkies, and now
Yes.
it's the silkies
I will
problem.
I'll bet you any money they were doing a Silkies hike. Have you ever done a Silkies hike, Max?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would do it with our with the unit and like on Memorial Day or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And no chafing. I mean, those things are
No.
fantastic when
They're
you're
wonderful.
yeah.
So happy to hear that.
Slick skin off of
So-
you. There's
so
no
practical.
chafing.
Jake,
Yeah.
there is not
It
enough
makes
time
your
in the
boobs
day.
look great, Alasia.
I'm happy for you. So do
I'm
my
even
yoga
more
shorts.
pro silkies. I'm even more
See,
pro
okay,
silkies.
Go on.
I have booty shorts. I work out in I
Keep
do
going.
yoga in booty shorts, but no one will ever see me in them ever. Like never. This is
Silkies
something
are
that
not
is,
booty shorts, though.
what's that?
Silkies aren't booty shorts, though.
They serve the same function to show off a lot.
Nay. If you have something to show, they will show. If you have nothing that can grow, then you're just It's just I can't even finish that poem. I'm gonna stop right now. Basically, silkies, if you've got it, it's gonna flaunt it for you whether you want to or not. And if you don't, you don't.
This is not encouraging me to wear them.
I thought it was like I thought this was like the R-rated Dr. Seuss book we never got. I was so into this. Yeah.
The only people I've ever seen in silkies that made me, I can't even say, like, that made me want to vomit was it was Spouse Day, and there's a lot of spouses that don't take care of themselves, and they're called the pendipotamuses. And so you can kind of imagine what they physically look like in your mind from that.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
I think it goes. Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think because mainly I've seen guys. I've seen more men wear silkies than I have women, and the guys who wear them normally are working out in them or running in them or whatnot. But the ones that it's actually the opposite. The guys with the really thin, non-muscular legs wearing silkies is very odd. It's very strange, you know.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the spouses. You know, when spouse wears silkies, if she's wearing them and isn't in shape enough to wear them, it can be very detrimental as well.
You've lost your stream, Alicia.
I know.
Sorry.
I'm just sitting here.
No, but it's honestly not true. Like, you want to talk about military dynamics. I mean, that's one of the things. Like, that PT gear period, you can't lie about you cannot lie about your physical fitness in PT gear. There's literally nowhere to hide. But when you are in silkies, there's even less places to hide because it's like a second skin almost. Like, silkies, just as long as you get the right size. We had those barracks bunnies that would always get like an extra small when they should be in like a medium or a small. Yeah. And you're just like, girl, come on, really?
Where it like goes up like where it's literally just a bikini bottom.
It's a half moon. It's a half moon. Yeah. It's a half moon.
So of course you're always going to have those, but for the most part, silkies are fantastic because it's basically like a second skin. You're able to move a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker. It slicks the sweat off. You don't chafe. And I'm telling you right now, if you do a silkies hike, if you do a 6-mile hike in silkies, it's much more comfortable than if you're in regular PT. Like, I would wear my greens. Regular PT gear, you would chafe. And when you're in, I know this is going to sound really dumb, but there's less drag with silkies because they're more tightly fit. There's less drag.
Aerodynamic.
I'm not kidding. Like, everybody would wear silkies at their PFT simply because because the cotton, because when cotton gets wet, it gets heavy. And you're running 3 miles in the Mojave Desert, you're going to sweat a lot and it's going to get heavy and you're going to stink. And you already have to run 3 miles in the freaking Mojave Desert. So I would much rather have something that slicks away the sweat and the nastiness and is more aerodynamically advantageous than something that's going to get heavier and weigh me down. Just an FYI. And I am happy for you that you like a songbird and snake. So, see, we can be happy for each other.
This is my stream, though. All right, so clearly these two have bonded. I would just like to say, Johnny agrees with me that they are not becoming. So I've got Johnny in my corner, and also Johnny does not see the need for women to constantly be in sundresses, which made me happy because I don't want to wear them all the time.
No.
Who's Johnny?
I like sundresses.
I don't like Johnny at all. I don't know
Johnny is coming back on his
incredibly misinformed advice, Alicia.
Why don't you like sundresses, Alicia? I'm curious. What do you
literally okay? No one's gonna be my friend after I say this. I sweat all the time like a sinner in church. I am physically uncomfortable in them almost all the time. I just don't like wearing them, and also because like I don't know if I have damage. Like, stop. I don't have I have nerve damage. I don't know if I have nerve damage in my back from dance, but the way that I have to wear an A-line or a princess seam. I don't know if it's the way that they hug my rib cage. It always makes my back hurt. Like, I don't know if it's psychological, Lady G. I don't know what the deal is, but like dresses like make me physically tired. I don't understand why. I have tried my whole life to be in a dress all day long, and like my body is so uncomfortable at the time I get home. I'm like, I never want to see this thing again. I don't know what it is.
Okay, are you going to the Dallas meetup?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take your measurements and make you a custom dress.
You don't have to
Oh,
do
look
that,
at
honey.
that.
Wow.
That's what
Look
I'm
at-
talking about.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Thank you.
Dallas meetup,
What?
Yes,
Tell me
we need
more.
to talk about
Wasn't
that.
that nice? Wasn't that a nice segue?
Well
Yeah.
done.
Yes,
Perfect.
well
Well
done,
done.
Lady G. I appreciate that.
as
Here
the
for you.
Marine Corps would say, to piggyback off of that.
To piggyback off, yes.
Yeah, so Dallas.
Any final rounds?
So I don't know, Salty, this was your idea. So Dallas, because we
What?
did see a question. When is the Vegas meetup? I think Max, you can speak to
Yeah.
that better than I can, because I doubt I'm going to that one. But the Dallas meetup is happening. Geez, and I will
2
be
weeks.
hit
Less
2
than 2
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be
It's
hitting
11
the road
days
on the
away.
16th. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in Dallas. The meetup is
Let me-
because the fan expo is the whole weekend though.
Mhm.
Yep. I think a lot of people on my Tuesday show were asking details about where the Nerderotic meetup is. I'm going to be in town a couple days early. And I just was wondering if there was a source or a place we could go that had, maybe a little more information, or if it's just the poster right there.
So if you go to Nerdrotic's Instagram,
Yeah. I'm not on
And
Instagram.
you
So
click on
yeah.
their highlights. You can RSVP. There's a link to RSVP. Sadly, Twitter doesn't have so yeah, that meetup in the middle there in their highlights.
Okay.
When you click on that, there's
What
a
if you aren't on
RS
Instagram? Because there's a lot of people who've reached out to me about that. That's why I'm asking.
Can we drop this in chat?
I don't see why not.
Okay, we'll drop it in chat.
But it's this is just a simple, it's free. This is so they can kind of get a head count, and
it does have the location.
Yeah,
so here's the location.
It's at Gators, which is a grill and bar in Dallas. It's actually pretty good, and it's like in central Dallas, like Old Town stuff. I spent a lot of time in Dallas. So it's actually really close to the convention center and where the fan expo is going to be. But I will probably only be there for Thursday night. I can't. I'm doing some stuff, and so I won't actually be able to stay for the fan expo. I might be able to make Friday night work, but I actually won't be staying the whole time in Dallas. But I definitely am pushing to be there Thursday night.
Okay.
So
excellent.
Well, then I will see you there, Lady G, because I decided to pretend like I have a life and that I should actually do things. So I'm coming, and I will be hiding behind Salty because I'm super. Oh my gosh! Hi, darling. How are you? Hi, girl. Thank you for being here. I'm super shy in like person, and I don't like talking to people. So I've been telling my chat, like, if you come, you have to come find me and make me talk to you because I won't seek you out.
That's not what you said to me. Is you said I don't have a choice, and you're going to follow me around, and I probably have to pay for most things too. And I've just accepted this. But
I
let's just
drink water. What are you paying for?
Is that what it is? It smelled like vodka. That's all I'm saying.
So in
and
any case,
you can't forget all the different art prints and books that she's going to want to pick up at the con.
I know. And I'm going to be
really
carrying them all for her and Megan. And there is somebody else. There is another woman that we all know who will be coming all the way from the United Kingdom to be in Dallas.
Yeah.
And that would, of course, be the one and
The
only
Queen.
Purple Valkyrie.
yes.
Yeah.
She will be coming, and she will be coming in a little early. And so she will be there all weekend as well. And we were actually going over, because on her show tomorrow, we're going to talk about some of the things that are going on at the Fan Expo that people might want to know about. And we really wanted to cover this topic. So we will drop that link. Thank you so much, Lady G, for that, because I didn't know that. And it's a big help. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I think they unfortunately a whole bunch. I won't get into specifics. Just know that I was at work until 9:30 on Friday night. So I guess the most I'm allowed to say is at least 3 people are going to lose their job. And guys, embezzlement is a crime.
What's wrong?
I was at work till 9:30 because people are stupid.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I thought something.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
No, not Friday Night Tights. So if you guys didn't know, it was the 200th episode this past Friday. They had Alex Jones and Gundam, and it was great. It was fantastic. I watched the replay, but I could only catch bits and pieces of it live because I was stuck at work. because people are stupid.
People are stupid.
But
They really
yeah,
are.
This is
like
true.
like at least three people are gonna lose their job at my work, and
Sorry.
I'm not sorry. Like, if you're gonna steal, I mean,
Wait, Lady Grave. Any of them Kathleen Kennedy?
oh, I
Any
wish.
of them? What's his Kevin Feige?
No.
Any of them named
Yeah.
Harris or Biden? Any of them?
Nope.
Them?
Sadly,
Okay.
none of them either. Though why those guys are not in jail for
I had to ask.
theft,
you
I'm
know?
not sure.
I had to ask.
I'm not really sure where we're getting tens of billions of dollars to send to other countries, but whatever.
Yeah, we're printing them. That's why gas costs like $7 freaking a
Yeah,
gallon.
I know.
Real
Anyway, sorry.
Really quickly, no, you're fine. I want to get to this before I forget. I have a $5 donation from Roman. Alasia, fantastic panel tonight. Although I did die a little bit inside every time the S word was uttered. Stay awesome. I know, Roman. You and me both. Don't you worry, Roman.
Don't worry.
We're gonna have an anti-Silky stream. And
I cannot support that.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna have there will be an anti-Silky stream.
And I'm not even exaggerating a little bit when I say this. The biggest fundraisers that we ever got were Silky fundraisers where we would get pied in the face wearing Silkies.
I'm sure it's the same reason why young girls wear short shorts when there's this car wash to be had. Let me give Roman.
No. It's
all
not
I'm doing is supporting young entrepreneurs. Why
Where
do you
is
have
this
to
car
go
wash?
there with that? I don't understand.
No, but
especially the sorority girls in bikinis. I'm just supporting that gumption and that get up and go. Don't be a hater.
I'm just saying, okay, Lage, here's where I come from it. This is y'all can hate me for this if you want, but the way that I look at it, one, Silkies really, unless you are just a lard, Silkies will always make you look good. You never have a uniboob in Silkies. I have no idea what the magic trick is, but you never have a uniboob. But also, I am so sick of beauty and femininity and the feminine form being shunned or hated or hidden, and not for modest reasons, but because it's saying that, oh, if you have female curves or feminine curves, or you lean into your femininity, that you're somehow evil, or that it's somehow it detracts from all the work that women have done throughout history. And I hate that. There's they are rejecting putting any type of beauty out into the world. And so I am here, I hear what you are saying. I get where you are coming from, but where I'm coming from is there's literally not enough beauty put out into the world. So I am going to encourage it wherever I can.
I just don't think men should be wearing them. Hold on. Let me give Roman his clip. We can just continue this in just a second. Hold on.
With me!
I wish I could play that whole thing. I love that theme. That's that theme track. I just don't think men should be wearing them. That's all. But also, I understand, and I have talked about this with McKenna, that I am a slightly uptight prude, and I keep
don't be so harsh on yourself. I mean, it's entirely true, but don't be so harsh on yourself.
I'm actually super modest. I think that there's something to be said for modest femininity, but still being female formers artwork. I think you can still be beautiful and modest, but I don't think, because there's a difference between a bikini model, or in Hawaii, people just walk around literally in because it makes sense. You're on the island anyway, but you're in bikini tops and muumuus and stuff like that. And it helps keep you cool, and you can go into the water to cool down more if you need to, but it's not seen as a sexual thing. When it gets sexualized, and I'm not saying that. I mean, I've seen dresses that can look trashier than some two pieces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's definitely. It has a lot to do with the woman wearing it and how she presents herself, and and the accessories, makeup, and stuff like that. So it can be trashy, but it can also classy is also possible.
I have an image to bring up, because you guys are talking about the idealized feminine beauty, and here we are. This is Yahoo Life saying in the article, Lena Dunham poses poolside in a bikini and is just stunning.
Yeah, no. That
It's
that
stunning.
adjective belongs to maybe
Yeah.
2% of the world's population. Like, I think here's
Wow.
the thing. When
This is the problem with femininity, Lady G. This is the femininity they're pushing, and to me,
yeah,
it's.
but it's not healthy.
I
Like,
agree, and that's where I'm going.
this is the other terrible thing. This beauty at all size thing. First of all, it robs women and men who have worked to really hone their bodies and treat it like a temple. But also, like, when you look at this, I mean, I quite frankly worry for Lena. Like, this is not healthy. I've said it before, skinny is not healthy and fat is not healthy. Healthy is healthy. Like,
She doesn't look.
but
She
that
doesn't have the glow of anybody
no,
who's even vaguely healthy. I mean,
she doesn't have any self-confidence.
we've
She's like caved in on herself.
we've
Yeah.
met women who have curves, and women who have curves are beautiful, right? But they got a
Yeah.
healthy glow. She looks sickly. She really
She
does. And
does.
those
Yeah.
See,
crap
that's
tattoos don't
trashy.
help.
Like,
Yeah, that is
a
trashy.
few
And
adjustments.
it
like,
looks
if
like
you-
dudes too. I mean, like
Really,
at least
it
one,
does.
two of them could be
But-
dudes. Let's be honest.
But
too.
like, I don't know.
I see where they're okay. So yeah, like, oh man, give anything to have that dress.
Right? Look how gorgeous that is. It's
Yeah.
very feminine. And it's modest too. And like, even
Yeah.
that, it's a little bit.
That's
it's still
hot.
pretty modest, but you've got
That's hot.
you've got the slit that goes up her
Mhm.
thigh a little ways,
Mhm.
but it's still like she's. That's
Oh,
gorgeous
there's
too.
Max's favorite sundress. That's
I mean, to
beautiful.
be fair, all of these are my favorites.
It's true.
I own.
It's true.
I own like 6 sundresses. I feel attacked. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
But
you're
see,
fine.
like, but that's what I'm
Ooh,
saying.
see,
Like,
that's the sexy
see, this-
librarian look right
this
there. I
stuff
could get
right
behind
here,
that.
like, if that right here, this is a perfect example because
Mhm.
if that top was unbuttoned and it was just like open, and you
Mhm.
take off the cap sleeves and you take that slit and you raise it higher, you get
Mhm.
trashy.
Mm.
Yep.
But the way this is, it's feminine, it's
Mhm.
sexy, it's classy,
Oh yeah.
and it exudes. Like, look at how happy she is.
Yep.
Well,
I
She
mean,
looks
Sexy
did you guys,
confident.
did you
Sexy
guys
librarian.
see when Hillary Duff had, she's in her
Yes.
30s, she's had
Yeah.
like a couple
Yes, I did.
kids at this
Yeah.
point. Sex is like 100.
Yeah,
I've
can we
only
talk
seen
about
it
this?
very many
Oh yeah.
times. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I've
Hillary
spent-
Duff filled out and she looks
Yeah.
great. But like,
she looks
Mhm.
amazing, and
she really does
even
look
she was
incredible.
attacked.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
and I hate how like Adele loses. Like, Adele finally gets healthy. She comes out and she's like, I was having heart problems, I was having breathing problems. The doctor said I wasn't going to live past, I wasn't going to make it to 40, and so she went and got healthy. And like, these people attacked her for it, and they're
Yeah.
like, and you get this lie pushed where it's, oh, fat doesn't, like, there's no health problems associated with fat. That's a farce. Like, there's no scientific proof that happens, and that's not true. Like, we're pushing this insane lie because these unhappy, vicious women
Mhm.
who bought into the lie of feminism and are now
Mhm.
alone and bitter are resentful, and so now they're taking it out on other young women, saying, no, you need to be fat, don't wear anything that even
You're
and
right.
if you are fat, you don't wear anything that like complements your larger figure or your larger frame. You know what
No.
I mean?
Because-
they're
And they use the patriarchy, Lady G, as
Mhm.
a screen for that. And what it is it's really, and again, this did not just start when
No.
Orange Man won in 2016. This goes back to the early 90s, like when I was in college with PC culture. And it was shaming women who were healthy, who were happy, who
Mhm.
wanted to get married, who wanted to have kids. And that's never really stopped, except now the idea of femininity, like both of you truly stunning and brave women, I don't say that with a trace of irony, have said, is that femininity is in every possible way perceived as lesser than masculine,
Mhm.
to the point
Mhm.
where women have to not become men, because they are not becoming men with what they're writing them as. They are becoming petulant teenage boys, the immature masculine
Mhm.
that struts and threatens. That's
Yep.
not what a mature man does, but that's what they think a woman should be. It's
Yeah.
bullshit. It's
Well,
dumb.
And Alasia can attest to this. I have an outfit that I've worn several times. I've worn it to like different military outings and stuff, like stuff where if it wasn't for my unit or something like that, or if I wasn't a speaker, I would wear this particular outfit, and I loved it because it's my power color.
Mhm.
Right? It's just the one that I feel most confident in, and my husband absolutely loves it. But the second time I wore it, there was a military wife, and she was a first lieutenant, so she was a O2's wife. And Max's face, yeah, they're some of the worst. And then like they get into Oakleaf and they kind of taper out, but then you get into like the Colonel and the generals, and then they go crazy again. But this particular pilot, or this particular officer's wife, came up to me and she's like, "You are so much braver than I am." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "I would never wear the same outfit to these different functions because, you know, you're under such scrutiny and such like so many eyes are on you." She's like, I would never be able to wear the same outfit twice to one of these." And I was like, okay, well, I have no problem with it. I think I look fantastic, and my husband happens to love it, so I have no problem wearing the same outfit twice. But women, yes, like women will the people who are dragging women for their weight, for their makeup, for their hair, for their clothing, for wearing the same outfit twice. It's other women.
No, okay, so like at my university, like I have always been, you know, I was in dance, and in Irish dance, there was a very particular persona that we presented to the world. We did the over the top makeup. So in our everyday lives, we would tone that down, but we had a very set, and I still do it to this day, and I still love that makeup set. I was one of the only feminine girls in my department, and this shouldn't come as a massive shock. All the other girls, and some of them could pull off the no makeup look because they were very naturally pretty, and I envied them to no degree, because I'm like, I would give anything to be able to not have to wear makeup all the time, because I don't have good skin. But like I know that my female professors and that my female peers looked down upon me because I went out of my way to dress as cute as I could, and still be comfortable, because sitting at a desk being hunched over a computer for 8 hours a day is not the most comfortable thing in the whole wide world. So I mean, I did the jean shorts, but I would do a cute top and do my makeup and my hair every single freaking day. And like they went out of their way to like reject anything that is beautiful and soft. And I'm like, what is the reason you guys are so miserable is because you're rejecting the very thing that makes you who you are. And it's sad to see.
Well, and it's not even like the thing about that too is there's this whole thing like where they say that it's unrealistic standards and unrealistic expectations, when it's really not. It's just simply basically taking care of yourself. It's no different than if you gents, if you all went and, you know, decided to just, you wanted to cut instead of bulk, and you guys went and benched like 55 pounds every day because you were literally just trying to get cut muscle and you weren't trying to like bulk out, but you were putting in that little bit of effort to take care of yourself. Or, you know, it's just these small things, taking the stairs. Like, I'm not saying if you go from like the first floor to the 30th floor, please take the elevator. I mean, unless you're a bionic man or bionic woman, but there's a difference. There's a difference between taking care of yourself and going above and beyond. Like a lot of these women, and I'm not trying to sound harsh, but it's true. I also I've been on many a university campus. Do you know how many of these women would benefit from a simple face wash and brushing their hair?
Like, that's the patriarchy. That's the patriarchy.
Well, and now apparently deodorant.
Well,
deodorant
and now, thank you.
patriarchy.
That's where I was going to go. I mean, and again, this is nothing new. When I was in college in the 90s, this is what the feminists were doing. I mean, they were hairy everywhere, and they made sure to make and put it in your face.
Yeah.
And they wore it like a badge of honor, and you could smell them halfway across the quad too. But again, it's what is that? That is this manifestation to me of the immature masculine, like a teenage boy who doesn't know enough to use soap. And apparently now that's being taken by a strong feminist. I don't understand it. I just don't.
Well, so it's really interesting. I've taken a couple of sociology and psychology classes, and I had a sane teacher for all of these classes, which was shocking for me. But because my business and ethics class was by a feminist, and it was terrible. Like on the very first day, she basically told all the white males in her class that they were absolute trash and they were the problem with America right now in the capitalist system. But anyway, when I was in, the psychological term is distancing, and it's where you try so hard to not be a focal point, you end up becoming the very thing you're trying to avoid.
Bingo.
And
It's a maladaption. It's a maladaption.
And
Yeah.
so because it takes like what they're saying here, because here's where this gets crazy, right? They're saying that, oh, to spend that money on getting your hair cut and styled, and to spend money on skincare products, and to spend money on clothing that suits you, it's a waste of money and it's the patriarchy. But in the same breath, these women are dyeing their hair these outrageous colors that costs a crap ton of money to maintain. These women are, I've seen where they've dyed their armpit hair the color of the rainbow and then had it like braided. Max, it's terrible. And then they'll have it braided, and then they will go.
I was just gonna say the hypocrisy of all
and cinch jeans they're men jeans though, so it's cinch men jeans and Ariat men jeans, so they're still spending all this money on a look to make themselves look trashy and unappealing, claiming that they're trying to subvert beauty standards and not spend that kind of money on their look, when in fact they are doing just that.
The hypocrisy is definitely there as well. And one of the things I've always questioned is like how, because you said that was in the same breath, right? Of them kind of going from the beauty standards that they are preaching, like don't do this or don't do that, but then spending the same money on looking a certain way. So I don't know when feminists are saying like, hey, we need to support women who are out there on OnlyFans and Fansly and, you know, sex workers, you know, like they're making their money. They're, you know, taking money from the men and from the patriarchy. Like we need to support them. And it's like they're utilizing the feminine form and over sexualizing it to an extent to where you're getting money to manipulate men who are, you know, involuntarily celibate. Yeah. To do that. Is that really the type of empowerment that you want? You know, like and that's the hypocrisy that I see.
Should I Google Fansly right now? What the hell is Fansly?
Fansly is it was the sponsor for the Creator Clash. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but it was a YouTuber boxing event, and Fansly was the sponsor, and it's the harder version of OnlyFans. So it's the more not safe for work.
I'm there.
OnlyFans.
Can we open up one of those pages?
No, you may not.
So yeah, that's always been my kind of question though, is like I want to ask that to one of these feminists is legitimately, because I guess I'm confused because I don't know which way, you know, which one is it? Is it
because what we see there is a weaponization of the female form.
That's exactly
it's
what
a weapon. It's not that it's the beauty standard. It's that they've managed to turn it into a weapon.
It's about power. It's about dominance and control. And so any form that you do that in, the ones that can't do that do the thing where they end up looking like a retired railroad worker, you know, at the age of 26 with braided armpit hair, and then they're just mad at everybody and they scream at the people at Starbucks. Did you guys see that video today, by the way?
Yes.
Of that crazy feminist?
No.
That was batshit nuts. And
She
I'm
was
like, this has got to be Portland or Seattle. This is Portland or Seattle. Like, I'll take even odds on either one.
Or
LA. Or San Fran.
Warwick, probably not. I actually haven't had a chance to watch it yet. We just have had a crazy week.
You should watch it.
No, I'm going to. My mom did. I was working. I couldn't get to it. So no, I'm going to. So probably not. And I like to try and keep politics off my I mean, not that this is political, and I'm not trying to shut down this conversation at all, but I not yet, because I just haven't seen it yet. So we might get it to it on a future stream. Let me get to this this donation really fast, you guys. Zax for $5. I agree with Max and Zax that Braveheart is a perfect film and historically accurate.
When are you going to read the super chat that he sent? Oh, you mean he didn't mean that?
Come on, old man.
I like how those things just cut off conversation. That's fun. I like doing that.
Yeah, it's so much fun to be on this panel when you do that too. Yeah.
I know, isn't it? It's real aggravating when the woman drives, doesn't it?
Dude, okay.
Is that what you call it? Driving? Is that what that is? Okay. It's in a car. The car is moving. I don't know if you could call it driving, but it is moving. Yeah.
Oh my God.
What?
How do people suck at driving an automatic vehicle? Like I drive a Shift, and I'm not that bad. Huh?
I don't know how to drive Shift.
You don't know how to drive a Shift stick?
It's awesome.
But
Stick shift?
I'm also so severely dyslexic that I think that that's a very, very bad idea.
Nah.
So
You gotta
Yeah.
go mudding. You can't really go mudding unless you're going in the stick.
Yeah,
So.
you can't do that in an automatic. But
Mhm.
no, like honest to God, I got in a vehicle with another woman who I'm not gonna identify because if
Ooh, I
she
know.
ever watches this and she knows who I'm related to this woman. I was like, dear sweet Jesus, is this what I drive like? Because if so, I understand why my husband always wants to drive.
Yeah.
But
funny.
it's hard because
Yeah.
They-
So I mean, hold on. So while we're on the topic of like femininity and the usurping of the female form, I mean,
There it is.
you can't get much more blatant than this. I mean, Salty, can you zoom in? Like, not there, but just zoom in a little bit.
I tried. I can try again because
Alright,
this
it's
is
okay.
coming
You
off
have to-
Twitter.
yeah, you have to
but,
copy it and put it in like Word
okay.
or something to
No
be able to
worries.
zoom.
Yeah.
But
No worries.
this
Yeah.
from like the first time when I glimpsed at this cover, I legitimately thought that she had a starfish on her chainmail. Like she would just crawl
That's what
down
I
the
thought, too.
ocean.
Yeah.
And then I was
same
like,
here.
oh, that's supposed to be an elven. Like when I'm not gonna ruin anything. Everybody go read the books and don't watch this show.
Yeah.
But just look at how rubbery her armor looks.
Yeah.
And like why does her chainmail look torn? Why does it look torn?
Well, and why does she also not have a breastplate on? Like, why does she
Yeah.
only have bits and pieces of the full set? That's what I'm confused about.
Yeah. It hangs like sleeve of wizard between her legs. You know,
If this was a metal band, it'd be okay.
it's true.
But like you can barely tell it. Like my biggest oh my god, this is in my vid too. But my biggest gripe out of this whole thing is how are you going to make Lady Galadriel look disheveled? How
Just
in
like this.
God's name
Yeah.
are you gonna do that? Like
Well, if you have to walk around with a 6-handed sword on your back, and she probably weighs like what 100 pounds maybe, and she's what 5'3", 5'4", of course her hair is going to look disheveled. But yeah, this is not canonical. This is not Tolkien. This is not Gladriel.
Well,
And
okay, Gladriel was a lady in waiting to a literal goddess for like 1,000 years.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Well,
It-
when she
it-
got a penis, apparently. So, yeah.
Like, okay, first of all, her greaves are just
They don't protect against anything.
yeah, they're
At all.
like I can't deal with this because if this is supposed to be Mithril that she's wearing, because someone made that point, they were like, oh well, it's Mithril. That's not Mithril. That's
No, it's
chainmail.
No.
Yeah.
That's chainmail. I don't care. Like, and I made the point to say that this almost looks Gondorian. And I was like, so we can assume maybe it's Numenorian armor. I was like, but that's not Elvish armor.
No.
It's not. It's simply
No.
not.
It's not.
And they're like, how do you know? How do you know? And I'm like, because I've actually I actually give a crap about this. I've actually read the books. I've read the letters. I've studied the
Yeah.
lore. I've done the deep dive. I'm by no means a Tolkien scholar, but I can tell you from looking at that, it is not Elvish made. And if they try to say that is Elvish
not.
made,
It's
they
not.
need to be raised to the ground. Is all I
Yeah.
can say. Lage, while we're here, you want to share?
What's happened? Yes.
See, yeah, okay. Now that you've zoomed in, but like I did, if I'm sharing my screen, here we go. Are you guys ready for this?
Maybe.
It's the same boot. They wrapped it in cloth.
Unbelievable.
I'm not even kidding.
I have that boot.
Yeah.
Only like the dude's version.
So, and then like when you zoom in on Galadriel's leg right here, first of all,
Wow.
that's a terrible wig. That's a
Yeah.
man.
It's awful.
That is a man, and also
Are
I got
you a
into.
Are you a biologist?
Am I about? Yes,
Okay. I just wanted to check.
Absolutely.
I believe you now. Anything you say. I believe
I
you.
am. I am all things because I am whammon. Hear me roar.
Oh.
No,
There you go.
But first of all, the way. Okay, this is not how. This horse armor looks like it is maybe made out of like porcelain or clay, and it'll break
Mhm.
if you touch it. But
Mhm.
besides that, this is grossly inaccurate, because if you ever look at a war horse, their ears are protected. Their ears are included, but there is nothing down here.
Yeah.
There's nothing down here, and
No.
there's reasons for that. Yes, it makes a weak point, but also you're cutting off your horse's vision.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
those
this
are like
whole-
literal blinders.
Yeah, this whole thing, this is what you put on a horse if you're trying to guide them through a fire.
Yep.
Like, that is what this is. Like this whole thing is so inaccurate that I'm actually pissed, because these horses had to actually wear this stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I don't know where
that's
Pete is
cruelty.
at.
Yeah.
I don't know where Pete is at, but this is something that needs to severely be looked into, because on top of that, she's right. Like, this is the most pathetic excuse for a wig I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
It
Game of
looks like a
Thrones-
face hugger from Aliens is on her head, though.
Oh my
doesn't
god,
it?
it does, huh?
See?
That's so funny that you say that.
Dude.
I see what
Ripley.
you did there.
Yeah, I see
Ripley.
that. Yeah.
But
They're
also,
mostly-
have you noticed that her dagger is a lot shorter right here?
Oh, it
It's
is.
cold. It's cold. There's gonna
It's
be
cold. It's, of course. And also, there's no six-handed sword on her back.
Nope.
well.
But when she mounts the horse, she's got all that regalia on. Also, it looks like she's, I can't zoom in anymore, but like it literally looks like she is wearing shoes, and they just like,
Yeah. Well, and then when
put
you
the
watch,
rubber
like,
over it.
when you hit play, I mean, obviously don't, because I know that they'll get cranky,
Yeah.
but you can see the armor bouncing. Like, that
Yeah.
should not be moving.
But
The other
you've got
thing on the
Cabela
horse-
boots over here.
Yep. It looks like it looks like a bunch of hippies riding horses to some Renaissance fair. The other part with the horse armor is that the biggest threat to mounted cavalry would to be a pikeman. There's nothing covering the front of the
Yep.
horse's throat or the breastplate
here.
or its under throat, which is where the pikeman will be going to dismount the rider, and then you've neutralized your cavalry threats. So, but again, but the big, what we have to remember, and if it's one thing that I've learned by being banned by the Fellowship of Fans and other Tolkien sites from coming onto there to watch their stuff, is that Payne and McKay are really nice guys. And
Yes. And they care so much.
Cautiously
and
optimistic.
despite the fact they called millions of us racists on February 11th, one day after the Vanity Fair article came out, and never apologized, Tolkien could not be in better hands.
I mean,
Yes.
I got blocked over a year ago now by friggin' OneRing.net, not .com. Those guys are awesome, but OneRing.net, because I called them out on a thread where they agreed with a
I remember that.
psycho feminist saying that Tolkien was racist as shit, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
the man who fought in World War I and his sons fought in World War II. That Tolkien.
I get those comments I have a small channel, but I get those comments like on my Lord of the Rings videos telling me that why am I standing up for a racist? And I'm just like, I can tell this person probably wasn't even born in the 20th century, and I've got to listen to them expel all this like first year gender studies horseshit to me, and it's like, what do? You have to leave the comments up, and then you let the other people who comment on your video come in, and then they eviscerate them.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting to see these people who, when they were in their early, like elementary school and then maybe early teens, they're reading Tolkien for the first time and they're going, I love this story. And they're innocent and they're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and they're reading Tolkien and they're watching the movies and they're doing all this stuff. And then they go to college and they get all this brainwashing and all this different, ideology pushed on them. Yeah. And they go, well, I love this thing that is Tolkien and I love this thing that is Lord of the Rings, but everything that I've learned now tells me that I should hate it. So now they hate themselves because they're trying to connect the two, but they hate the thing that they love and they will never be happy. So they're trying to pervert the thing that they have always loved and saying like, well, it needs to be updated now so that I can be happy. But the truth is that they'll never be happy, even if they update it to modern times. It's this whole massive cluster.
And the thing is, it's what's sad is like, again, and I know this from experience, is that I was stubborn. Like I have the most contrary nature of anyone you're ever going to meet. They said, do the thing. And I was like, nope, doing the opposite thing. I mean, but also I was raised a certain way. I was raised with certain morals and those, I mean, I'm sure this will come as a huge shock to all of you, but I've been this way since I was like knee high. I mean, that's just who I am. And I know
Really?
isn't it shocking?
Couldn't tell. No.
So the only reason that I came out of my college experience not believing that Jane Austen, every single one of her characters was lesbian, is because I just had a contrary nature and I also had a strong moral sense. What's sad
I'm
is
sorry,
that
what?
Yeah, no,
that's
I'm
a
not kidding.
thing.
Emma's
That's a
been
thing.
completely ruined for me. I did reread Emma about 3 years ago. I was so blindingly furious I couldn't see straight because Emma has been ruined for me. I will never be able to pick up Emma ever again.
How do you ruin a match? How do you ruin a story about a matchmaker?
Because all of them are lesbians. They're all repressed lesbians. It just drudged up so much rereading Emma. I couldn't do it.
The why it's so unbelievable to me is because there were no U-Hauls when Jane Austen wrote those books. So what are we saying? There were like mule carts constantly carting people's possessions from one lesbian house to the other. Is that how it works?
Okay, just this is actually a historical fact. You guys can look this up if you want to. These women realized that there were doctors, so women would get migraines because back in the day you had really heavy skirts. You had really there was not a whole lot of stuff. You needed help to even go to the bathroom, right? There were literally doctors who would show up because women would complain of migraines and they would be moody, and they would show up. They'd be in the room with the woman for maybe 10 minutes, and they'd come out, and the woman would be just a completely different kind of person, right? They were literally giving women orgasms. That was the doctor's whole job. Because either their husbands were away at war, or they were widows, or it was a marriage for political, whatever the case may be. But that doctor's whole job was literally to get those women off.
I think I saw that movie.
And
yeah.
Is there a way that I can get that job or something?
Yeah, dude.
Is that not a job anymore? Oh.
Yeah, just a gigolo. You can have that job day and night.
Oh, there you go. That's what it is. Yep.
But no, but that was literally their entire job was just to do that. Yeah. And it calmed these women down. But these women didn't want to be touched by other women. We have journals. We have tons of journals from women like this and letters and stuff like that where they even say where their female companions offered to give them relief, but they wanted a masculine scent. They wanted a masculine touch. Yeah. They didn't want their they didn't want their female companions to give them to give them that sort of release.
Not pillow friends.
They didn't want their close female confidants to do that because they said that it wasn't the same. It didn't leave them with the same sense of satisfaction. It's literally in letters. These women were not repressed lesbians. They just didn't get dicked down enough.
No, and that's the problem with gender studies major too. And go ahead and cancel me because I've been saying that for 30 years. Yeah. And it is what it is. And all that rage and all that frustration. No, it's okay.
You're fine, girl.
I mean,
let me read this donation really, really fast. From Silverlock for $4. Y'all have a good night. Don't let Salty talk you into a puppet apocalypse. I don't know what.
We don't have enough time to explain. Let's just say that I was abducted by Snowdub.
Oh, okay.
We're working it out.
So. All right, let me give Silverlock a clip really fast.
Well, are you coming or not? Ask me nicely.
I freaking love that scene.
That's awesome.
That's a good one.
Lady G, what was so interesting is that there was I think I was in 03 and there were females in the unit that were either O2s or O3s, and you could always tell whenever they came into work if they were not being taken care of at home. Yes, because they would come into work extremely aggravated, aggressive. They'd be telling the enlisted Marines to do things that were just like, hey, we can do that tomorrow, don't worry about it, or things that were just not inconsequential, were had to be done today, just little things like that. And then the next day they would come in and they'd be fine, so I don't want to speak out of turn here, but did you experience anything like that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same, but it's also the same with staffs are like it's really worse for and I don't know if you saw this. I saw since I was air wing, there were fewer. I had 2 female pilots in my unit and 1 Wizzo, which was unheard of, but they were both Super Hornet pilots, and then they eventually, one of them actually tried for the F-35 program but didn't make it. But she when I say that it's incredible, she made it to the final round of selection, which was intense beyond all. Like, she was amazing. So I have a few exceptions to that rule, but I noticed that it was way worse with the married female Marines than with the single female Marines. When they'd come in and you could tell they either had a fight with their husbands or they were, they hadn't been taken care of when it came to those other kinds of needs, or if they were just in general having like a crap day, they always took, like, all I did was I took a G suit and I was getting an ink stick stain out of the G suit, right? And for anybody that doesn't know what a G suit is, it is a
Right,
from
she's
blacking out when you
it.
start pulling G's. So, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, your mic dropped for a second there.
Yeah,
but
your mic cut out.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, I don't know, my internet's been weird. But anyway, so a G suit is a device that prevents you from blacking out when you pull G's. And the pilot had gotten an ink stick or a pen stain on it. And so I was like, okay, not a problem. Like, I can get it out. And so I was sitting there and I was scrubbing it out, and I was on the floor and I was scrubbing it out. And the female staff sergeant from Airframes walked in, and I did not give proper greeting of the day, which with enlisted is not usually a super big deal.
Right.
And so, but I'm down there, I'm scrubbing this stain out. I didn't hear the door open. And all I hear is, what? No proper greeting of the day, Lance Corporal? And I was like, I was like, good morning, Staff Sergeant. And she's like, what are you even doing? And I had been there since 3:30 because we had morning flights, so I had to get everything prepped. And I was like, pilot has a stain in his G suit that I'm getting out. And she's like, you're done with that. Come with me. And I was like, uh-oh. And so I like hung it up, and I wrote in the turn down, like the turnover binder, which is basically that so you can keep track of what everybody's done throughout the day. I wrote in the turnover binder that she came in, she retrieved me, this was the time, this, that, and the other. And she made me go out into the hangar with not a push broom. She made me go out there with just one of those small house kitchen brooms, and she made me sweep.
Wow.
For hours.
She needs the peen. She needed the peen.
My corporal came out and found me and was like, "Thank God you left a note in the turnover binder, because in the pass down binder, because this is like, you've been out here for hours." I said, "I know." She said I wasn't allowed to leave until she came back and got me. And he's like, "She's gone. She was sent home by her gunny." And I was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Yeah, come inside." So like I had to deliver this whole report. And then she came back and she was like, "Look, I'd had a rough day. I had a rough night with my husband and I took it out on you and I'm really sorry." But that was the only time I ever got apologized for. But she would, like, every 2 weeks, it seems like she would have that issue. And it was the same thing with these other females who were in the service. They would always have like something going on and they would take it out on everybody else. And it was everybody else's problem. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's brutal. But I'm glad that she at least apologized, because sometimes the ego won't allow higher enlisted or officers to apologize.
Her gunny and our OIC made her. Like, they stood behind her and made her. Well, you got to understand, when I say hours, I was out there for 8.5 hours sweeping.
Jesus.
Wow.
Man.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
We need a working party.
Right?
Just one. Lady G, it's you.
It's you.
Yeah.
No,
Here's a snow shovel. Here's a snow shovel for the runway. Come back in 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
Do you know what a tow bar is, Max?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Oh, actually, for Motor T?
No. Well,
okay.
It's similar, but it's what we use to taxi the jets. So have you ever seen a jet being taxied? And so you've got like the little tug in front, and then there's this white like bar looking thing that attaches to the front landing gear, and it's like pulling the jet?
I haven't, but I know what you're talking about. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Tow bars are like 17 feet long, and we had a unit that managed to lose one, and we had to do a fog lock for it.
Oh, I've lost radios before, but I mean, we're talking like, you
Yeah.
know, like this, like a radio that's
Yeah.
maybe like this big, you know.
Mhm.
But a 17-foot tow bar,
Yeah.
that's wild.
It was hilarious. We all hated that unit.
That
But
sounds
yeah,
that sounds about
it's
right.
okay. I'm actually so glad that you went to that, because I was gonna say this right here. If you look at the way her elbows are situated, does anybody else?
Wrong button. Here we go.
You're good.
Okay, there we go.
You guys know those shirts that have like the elbow pads in them?
Yeah,
Does that not look like that's what that looks like?
it does.
It looks like those shirts that have the elbow pads. And here, now she's got her breast armor, her breastplates back on, but her chainmail still looks like someone cut it. Like
Yeah.
it looks cut.
It looks cut. Well, yeah. So not only that, but I mean, did you guys have a chance to go? I mean, we need to start winding down, but did you guys have a chance to look at this bullshit article? Like,
Yes.
they literally said because Glorfindel was not in the Lord of the Rings, that Payne and McKay have every right to make up 22 brand new characters. Like, literally, because Glorfindel and Tom Bombadil are not in the Lord of the Rings. We have a right to, and that's a good thing that they're making up 22 brand new characters.
They can't even believe that. Like, whoever wrote that can't believe that.
The level of mental gymnastics that this article took to get to this point, I was just like, this is a bad dream, right? Like, I'm literally making this a bad dream. This can't be real.
Mhm.
Well,
It's a bad
go ahead,
writer.
Zax.
No, I was gonna say it's a bad writer. That's all. Like, this is what they do. This is it's horribly written, and there's no truth about it at all. It's just garbage.
Yeah, I like how they try to use Peter Jackson's trilogy. Because one of my biggest things about this is, and I think a lot of people who are concerned, who know about like the Second Age and the time of trees and
Yep.
all of this stuff, like that is you're talking millennia of time, and they're condensing it down into a few decades. One of my biggest gripes that I have with the Peter Jackson films is the fact that they made it feel like a 2-week difference from when Gandalf left the ring with Frodo and rode out and said, "Keep it secret, keep it safe." In the movie, it felt like that was maybe 2 or 3 weeks at most, right? And it felt like all of this happened over a very shortened period of time, and it really takes away the gravitas of the entire story, because this is happening over 2 decades. And like that's my absolute biggest gripe. Well, this one is trying to claim that it's perfectly fine to shove thousands of years down into like a decade.
Yep.
I think it's so interesting because, like I was saying earlier about the whole Top Gun thing, about Tom Cruise coming forward and being super authentic and being like, "Thank you guys for the fans. 30 years in the 30 years we haven't done the film since then, blah blah, and all this stuff." I think the reason why people get so angry at the Rings of Power and the production and the everyone working on this whole disaster is because they are, one, either lying through their teeth, or two, they've been smelling their own farts for so long that they think that is the truth. And I'm not sure which one it is. So what?
It's both, though. It's both. I mean, it's both. And then you have all. I mean, this is, excuse me, all calculated if you think about it. The Tolkien fan sites, before we knew about it, were already given a trip to London. They signed NDAs. They didn't know what it was probably within those NDAs. They can't tell us anything, but they all sound the same. Before that, we had Vanity Fair. Every major media site was telling us that we're racists and we don't like strong, independent, whatever. And now here we are. They've started the diminishing. They've already tried saying Peter Jackson's movies weren't that good. We had a week where everybody was dropping that, and that didn't float. Now they're doing this, and they're trying everything they can to try and jam something in to get one little foothold with somebody. The thing about whoever wrote this article, and I hate ad hominem attacks, but has this person even read the books, or did they even see the movies? I mean, articles like this can be very easily written by somebody who has no emotional investment in Tolkien from the books, or even if they just saw the films and maybe read The Hobbit once when they were a teenager. And that's, I think, the problem is that I think a lot of the people shilling these points and repeating them are culturally illiterate, and they have no problem destroying these things. And so when we react, they have nothing in their playbook other than to call us the names that we do. And the problem is that we are culturally literate. The problem is that we do understand Tolkien. Not all of us are Tolkien scholars. I will never claim to be that. But in this situation, it wouldn't you could insert any franchise. Could be Star Wars, could be Star Trek, Doctor, I mean, the whole list, right? This is the same argument we've been getting for years. It's not going to work this time either. And the problem here is that there were so many more Tolkien fans internationally, globally, for 50 decades. We could argue that. And I don't think they realized that the same bullshit they made up for Star Wars and Star Trek and Doctor Who wasn't going to work this time. Because there are people all over the planet who are telling them where they can stick this. And they don't know what to do. You know?
Yeah, they keep going back to... Oh, go ahead, Elijah.
No. Go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because we all saw I think we all saw Gary's video of, where he brings up every single article that says, this is going to be a modern adaptation, but that's a good thing, and he goes through every single thing, but that's a good thing. We're changing this for a modern audience, but that's a good thing. And I feel like it's that same 19 to 20-year-old, college grad who is writing these things, that's never had any sort of love or passion for any of these things, but is told, hey, you need to write an article about the new Doctor Who. So can you give it to us by the end of the week, And the kid's like, sure, I don't care.
Wikipedia, they just do some quick research. That's it.
And then once they do that, oh, go ahead.
That's so no, go ahead. I interrupted you. Sorry. I'm going to send you an article, Elijah, we need to take before we go. But go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was just going to say, once they do their research, like you guys were saying, and they check out Wikipedia, they go, "Oh God, this is a little transphobic," or "Oh, this is a little sexist." I don't think I can. I think it's good that they're doing all this modern retelling, and so that's where we get these articles, is from people who have never even So I agree with you, Salty. I think it is coming from people who may not really know the source material.
Yeah, this is fascinating. This just came out on the 5th. I don't know if that's today or not.
That's today.
This, of course, comes to us from what hellhole site is this? It is IGN, of course, another pit of despair. The Lord of the Rings of Power doesn't try to compete with the films or Game of Thrones. And then look at it.
No.
Look at it. The team is staying true to Tolkien and are just, quote, admirers from afar.
Oh my God!
No,
what kind of disorder?
Bezos literally said that this is his. Bezos literally said that he wants this to be his Game of Thrones. They are absolutely trying to compete with Game of Thrones. They are absolutely trying, but this is the exact same strat. Again, Salty, I know you saw this with Wheel of Time. It's the same thing.
It's the same argument.
The first thing came out and it was, it's going to be a sweeping, immersive, wonderful, diverse adventure that fans are going to love. And then they got backlash, and then we're like, oh, well, all the fans are racists, and this is to bring in the new modern story that everybody can relate to. And then when they got backlash on that, it was, oh, well, it's not actually trying to, compete with any, like, this is Amazon trying to do justice to it, but in a way that makes it where women have more power.
Yes. It's another turning of the wheel.
Yes.
It's all the names from the book. It's all the names from the book, but they don't look like, they don't act, they don't sound, they're not in the same place. They don't do the same things as the character of the books, but I have the same names.
Yeah.
And this is fascinating because while Amazon Prime's Lord of the Rings of Power is trying to be the big next series to captivate the world, it certainly isn't going to compete with Peter Jackson's trilogy or Game of Thrones. How scared do you have to be afraid of the HBO Game of Thrones prequel?
Right?
They know
Like,
what they've got is holes.
they're
you know?
literally hedging. This is phase 3. They're hedging their bets. They're saying it's not trying to be those things. It's trying to be its own thing. And so fans aren't necessarily gonna like it. So we don't expect it to be this huge thing that's going to be just like the films. It's going to be its own thing.
Yeah, they're trying to lower the expectation so that once it does come out and everyone's like, man, this sucks. They're like, well, we told you guys it wasn't going to be that.
In Disparu's video, like Disparu literally found the tweet or whatever it was that literally said it takes most shows till season 3 to actually get good. He was like, excuse me?
No, yeah, that's torn again. That's OneRing.net. They're like, we need to give this until 3 seasons to find its footing. And I'm like, Jesus. Friends found its footing in the first season. ER found its footing in the first season.
Yep.
I don't watch I didn't watch it, but I hear Game of Thrones was season 1 was one of the best, apparently, according to everybody that I've talked to. So that is not the case.
Walking Dead.
There you go, Walking Dead. Yeah. So there's plenty of shows. Even as much as I dislike what Big Bang Theory did, because I think that a huge thing was that made geek culture
diluted it.
Yeah, like I think Big Bang Theory, while it started out with a good premise and I actually liked the show, like the first episode was a hit, and it was a hit for a reason, and it was a well-written show. But I think that it was a big part of why geek culture became the next it thing.
Agreed.
So
let me get to this quote because I know Max has got to get out of here, and I'm sorry, Lady G, I don't mean to derail you. So according to Payne and McKay, they are staying true to the Tolkien mission and not getting caught up with keeping up with the Joneses, meaning Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, meaning HBO's Game of Thrones prequel. Quote, you can psych yourself out in keeping up with the Joneses, but one of the mantras on this was, quote, go back to the source material. McKay said, what would Tolkien do? Some of these other competing properties, they play one octave really beautifully, but Tolkien was playing every note on the piano. He has that variety of tones. There's a whimsy, friendship, and humor that Harry Potter is so beloved, blah, blah, blah. So they don't say anything. Look at this. They don't even tell us why we should care about their production. They're just talking about Tolkien. And it's like I was really hoping that they would tell us again that they wrote the novel that Tolkien couldn't write, but even in this shill article, they couldn't pull out a quote to pull this together.
Yeah,
like it just dead ends. Whoever wrote this for IGN, this is not an article. It's like somebody literally went squirrel in the middle of the article and walked away. So I can't even get a satisfying
that's how
gotcha
half
in
of
this
them
thing.
read them, though.
You know.
The one thing that you said earlier as well in the article when it said, this isn't Peter Jackson, this isn't Game of Thrones, but the thing is that the unfortunate thing about this is that this could have been bigger than you know what I should say it should be bigger than Game of Thrones because no one knew what Game of Thrones was until because the book series is actually called A Song of Ice and Fire. So when people just saw Game of Thrones, they were just like, "Oh, a new TV series. I don't care." But Lord of the Rings, everyone knows what that is. So this should have been,
And what Bezos originally promised and what we were promised for season 1 wasn't 8 episodes. It was 25 episodes.
25 episodes
for season 1. Now we're getting 8. It looks like crap. And nobody apparently is digging it. Anybody who sees 20 minutes of very highly edited video can't even tell us what they saw and why they liked it. And here we are. It's June 5th. I was convinced that during the NBA Finals, because Amazon's Lord of the Rings is sponsoring that they were going to drop a trailer.
Yeah, same.
And where is it? It's nowhere. And it was a lot of the Tolkien fan sites. And I want to shout out, Council of Fans. That's where I ran with that because I trust that guy. I believe that guy got that information. But much like the Empire magazine, we were supposed to get these images several weeks ago. And we didn't get them.
Yeah.
So
All right, I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
pause you guys. I want the three of us to keep talking, but Max and Zax have got to bounce. So real quickly, in case you were not here in the beginning, I'm gonna keep saying this because Max and I want you guys to absorb this. Come July 10th, Max and I will be switching stream times. He will be taking my Sunday slot. I will be taking his Monday slot. It's because he is starting graduate school, which I am very proud of him for. And some of his classes are on Monday nights, so he will not be able to have the man cave on Mondays. So we will be switching come July 10th is when that's going to happen. So guys, please start keeping that in the back of your mind, and we will continue to say it so that you guys will remember when that happens. So Max, what have you got going on? Where can people find you? And thank you everyone who's been dropping his links.
Yeah, Mando has been doing the Untamable Life has been absolutely fantastic tonight. She's been putting a ton of great stuff on here, so thank you. I think one of them, she said like the silkiest man on the internet or something.
Yes.
So I appreciate it, Mando. That is very, very kind of you. So yeah, you guys can find me at this link. Tomorrow night we'll be doing Max's Man Cave. I have 2 new segments that I think are going to be really fun.
Ooh.
One is going to be Legendary Heroes. So
Nice.
it'll be going over any type of historical or fake, superheroes from ancient historical figures to superheroes to athletes. Tomorrow night I want to do Joe Louis, who's one of the most famous boxers in history. So Legendary Heroes is going to be a cool new segment, and then the other one is going to be Yo What the Hell or Yo What the F, but I don't know. Should I keep it a kid show or whatever? And it'll just be like fun gripes, like when I'm on the airplane and the person next to me won't shut up, and I'm just trying to watch a movie. Yo, what the F? And so that'll be just like a fun segment to that people can relate to and go like, yes, I hate when people do that. So that's going to be tomorrow night, and I'm going to introduce that, and hopefully you guys enjoy. As Elijah said, we'll be switching in July, and I'll see everyone in Dallas and Vegas.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
It starts to
you will.
near that. So
Yeah, you will.
All right.
But yeah, go ahead, Zax.
Yeah, Zax, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. Well, Mando has been amazing at posting links all night long. So she's had my Twitter up there. She's had my YouTube up there. So she's been fantastic. But if you don't find me through that, it's Zax7. If you search it on YouTube, you find me. And what I wanted to say before I go is one more thing about Top Gun, which I think is a great thing to see as a Canadian, is that it made it 100% okay to be American again. And that's nice to see. It really is. You guys take so much shit. It's unbelievable. And so it's good that it's a proudly American film, which is nice to see again.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, and what? Tell me about those subscriber numbers there, Zax. You've been blowing it up.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I saw that.
It's ridiculous a bit. So right close to 850 now.
That's awesome.
Told you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He's been crushing it, Max. Crushing it.
Yeah. So, and thanks to you guys actually, because you've been involved in most of the things that I've put out that's helped me get those numbers. So thanks guys for the live streams and the clips and all the promotional help and all that. So, and the chat as well. Couldn't do it without anyone else. So yeah, it's been a team effort, and I'm super happy about it.
It's awesome.
Dude,
congratulations.
Wild.
Well earned.
Well deserved.
Well
deserved.
Thank you.
So you'll get monetized here. When did you start your channel?
I started using it in December.
Damn.
That is amazing. Well done.
Hell yeah, dude.
7,500 watch hours already.
Yeah. You just need to hit the 1K. You just need to hit the 1K. And then we'll see about what kind of weird copyright stuff they try and pull. But I think you're
I know.
Pretty clear.
I know. Yeah, it's been good. So I got
lucky
with some
Batman
videos
review.
Whatever.
YouTube wouldn't let me post the Batman review.
Why?
That's weird.
Really?
Yeah, because even though I have no idea. It said that I was I had all these flags, and I tried to have the I challenged them. I got some of them knocked off, but most of them they were like, no, you can't do this, or you can't have that. And I was like, this is insane. So yeah, it wouldn't let me upload my Batman review, which I guess I saw a different Batman movie than everybody else because I hated it. But
It's funny. All right, lads. Well, I know
Um,
you got to bounce, so if you
Yes.
need to head out of
Thank
here,
you very much.
Bye.
thank you so much for being here, you guys. You guys are amazing. So
Bye,
look
boys.
forward to see you guys around.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
It's good to
And
see you
Yeah.
guys.
See you later.
Zach. Good
Nice
to
to meet
see
you,
you.
Lady Gravemaster.
It's nice to meet you, Zax.
Nobody says
Bye.
goodbye to me. Jesus.
I'll see you soon, Salty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Salty,
know.
we see you every night. It's
I know.
fine.
I'm nothing. It's like I'm your wife. You're like, oh, her. Yeah, great. Okay. Yeah, I see how it is.
We've grown to appreciate you so much that
Is that what we call it? Taking for
Yeah.
granted and appreciating the same.
Yes, that's what
Yes,
it is.
there
It's
you
great.
go.
It's so good to see your smiling face, though, Max. I'm
Yeah,
so
it
glad
is.
you're back. Bro.
We've missed you.
Thank you guys.
know?
Yeah, thank you so much. I may or may not have invited myself on because I was like, Alasia, I need to socialize with people. Please let me see my friends again.
we
So,
were on the phone this morning, and he's like, "Can I come on?" I was like, "Of course you can, you dork."
yeah,
I was
so-
leaving him alone because I wasn't sure if he was alive or dead. I was going to go to his house and steal all his statues, just didn't say I was checking on him. But apparently he's alive. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because if I did die, then you would be like, it's in his will that I get all his statues.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no,
and
McKenna
I
would
get-
probably stab me to death. for
your
him,
sword.
yeah.
So I get Flame of the West.
True. Well, yeah, no, again, thank you guys so much for having me on. I definitely needed to see y'all's smiling faces as well. So it is nice to be back. And yeah, I'll see you guys all most likely tomorrow night.
Sounds good. All right.
Cool. Okay. Bye.
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 I know Salty also we need to dip too. So we definitely need to have a part 2 of this because I feel like this conversation's been incredible.
Agreed.
So before we do that, really fast, I want to share something. I'm against my better judgment. I started. No, can you just not?
Where
This
is
sounds
she
like
going?
a Mr. Right?
I
This
know,
sounds
I
like
was
a Mr. Darcy proposal. Like against my
know.
better judgment, my family's wishes, and my common sense. And you're like, God dang!
I know. I'm like, okay, this is a hell of a build-up. It'll probably be about shoes or something.
No,
you know,
I'm
but-
gonna start a
do love
Twitch. And so therefore, I mean, most Twitch streamers have a
Yay!
Discord. Yeah, I have a PS4, and Johnny is very graciously helping me find the capture card, and he's gonna help me set it up and get it going. So I just want to make this very clear. Johnny and Ark get first dibs on teaching me how to play Fortnite because everyone wants me to play Fortnite. Anyways, I made a Discord. If you guys want to pop in and say hi, there is the link.
I barely
can't do all that
understand
stuff.
Discord.
No,
like,
I know.
Discord
I
is
can't.
too smart for me.
No, I know. And
Yeah.
like, look how many disc servers I'm in. I know no one needs one more server, but if you want to be in mine, there you go.
I'm gonna try to
okay.
find you. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, I had to. So Garrett Quarterblack had a member stream a few weeks back. I want to like not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before, I think. And they were on the live stream talking me through how to get into the Discord because I don't know how to use Discord.
Yeah,
like,
I get it. I have
believe no idea. I'm not
That's
smart
hysterical.
enough. I'm not
Yeah.
smart enough. It's okay.
Yeah. So I and I see you guys rolling in. Thank you guys so much. I'm still working out some kinks because I can't set up these damn bots to do what I want, but I'm working on it. And so I thank you guys, and hopefully I will have my Twitch up and running come after the meetup. Johnny has given me permission to bug him, so I'm gonna bug him relentlessly until I get this stupid thing up and running. So
I have no idea how to do that. I am legitimately trying to find you in
Interesting.
Discord right now.
honey, don't worry about it. If you can't, I'm not like it's
no,
more
I
for
can
them.
do this.
Like, I will succeed.
Do I add
Chat.
a server? How do I do
Chat,
this?
save me.
Create my
Save me.
own.
Chat,
Have
save
it-
me.
I'll
Join
let
a
you-
server. How do? Okay, wait. I can do this. I can do
Alright.
this.
I'm gonna let Salty leave because he's got to go walk his pupper, and then I will help you figure this out.
Oh, I found you.
Oh, well done, lady. I see you. Thank you, darling. Thank you so
Wow.
much for joining.
I did it. I basically just copy and pasted the link.
That's
I didn't know
awesome.
what else to
And
do.
there is a Silky's channel. I expect Silky's to stay on that channel. I don't want to see it anywhere else, or my mods will have a very unpleasant conversation with you. And
Hashtag
there's
Silkies matter. Hashtag Silkies.
I-
Silky
well,
lives matter.
you can get in the channel that says Silkies. And it's university themed because I'm a dork. And I have a lot of stuff like Bible study, which I want everyone to post their favorite Bible verses to, you never know who's going to need something. I have art. I have a vending station. I have all the things. So if you guys want to come hang out.
My favorite Bible verse changes dependent on the mood that I'm in.
Yeah, I'm reading the book of Ruth and I just keep crying at every single verse. So it's just like the entire book of Ruth is like just making me cry right now. So
you would think that would be feminist's favorite book because her not like literally falls in love with her when she's working out in the fields.
Yep.
Yes.
That should legit be feminist's favorite book, but no.
Yep. Nope. It's not. So anyways, all right, Salty.
Thank you. I'm Silky, Texas
Salty.
C. Thank you so much for having me on tonight. A Toxic Green. I always enjoy coming on your show.
Thank you for being here. I enjoy you being here with me. I just feel like now I can't do a stream without you, and that's really pathetic. So
No. I don't want to be a bother. There's so many more handsome and literate people than me, but I'll take it. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. All right. Well, where can people find you? What you got? What have you got going on?
Oh Lord. Well, I've got the Tuesday show every Tuesday night at 7:15 Central. Also, Purple Valkyrie and I were going to be dropping a video tomorrow, an unboxing where I actually sent her some top shelf American goodies, including locally made Texas jerky and candy, other things like that. She has not tried any yet. She's going to sample them tomorrow. Also, she sent me a huge box of European candies and goodies that I'm going to be sampling as well. We're going to do that at 12 noon Central. Also, we're going to be dropping some woo-woo videos talking about the paranormal, as we always do with Zax, Purple Valkyrie, myself, and some others. And I'll be popping on random shows. Maybe Snow Double abduct me again like he did last week. And I love working with the puppets. So thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Alrighty. Well, go walk your pupper. He needs him's walk. So thank you so much. And I will be seeing you around. I need to talk to you maybe tomorrow if that's okay.
Just hit me tonight. Just,
are you sure?
Yes,
you do it.
You open palm, slap him.
She hits me. It's like this. And she's got a big ring. No, don't tell her to be any less shy than she. She doesn't have that problem. Lady G, it's great to work with you. I've admired your content. It's great. And chat, you guys are fantastic. You all have a great rest of your Sunday night. I'm going to go before my dog chews through my door. So,
yes. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Lady G. Well, do you want to keep hanging out, Lady, or do you need to go tend to duties?
Well, the littles are in bed, and I don't have to be up until 4:45 tomorrow morning, so I got a little bit of time.
I don't have to be up until 4:45. You say that like it's casual. I would fall apart.
I'm usually up at 4:15, and if it was a running day, like I'm desperately trying to get back in. So, long story short, I injured myself, and between 4 kids, depression, and then injuring myself and not actually being able to like move, but still eating like I was able to work out like I had been, my weight ballooned. And so I do 3 runs a week. But I have to be up at 3:30 for those runs. So
wow.
But I'm usually up at 4:15 every morning.
Goodness sakes. I'm trying to be an early riser. But I do struggle with that because I'm what am I trying to say? I've been getting such bad bouts of insomnia that like I try to get up because I get so like, I was raised with like depression era grandparents, like sitting still is a sin. Streaming is so hard for me because I'm like, I'm not doing anything productive. Salty, and if I've had this conversation, I am actually doing something productive. It's just in a different way of being productive. But like I will have crippling anxiety attacks if I don't get up early and just like start my day going, which is like that hustle culture, which I know there's like some issues surrounding that. But yeah, I'm trying to be an early riser. I'm not being all that successful, but yeah, my mom is the same way. She gets up at 3:30, 4 around there, and I'm just like, how? I can't do it.
Discipline. After a while, your body just kind of does it for you. But also, it just it just takes discipline. It's just like anything else. That's why, like, I put on Twitter the other day, and all it was, I just said, discipline is greater than motivation. because motivation is where you're like, okay, I'm motivated. I want to do this. I want to go do this. Discipline is what makes you do it when you have no motivation.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny, like Tugs talked about that in her interview with Blabs. Because Blabs is interviewing all the Geeks and Gamers people, and they're putting it on the website, and Tugs talked about that same thing. And I like that, I don't know why, but that like really, that was like a knock over the head I needed. I was like, dang, that was deep. I needed that.
yeah, Tugs and I have had that conversation a lot too. Like, it's just, I think people like whenever they say, oh, this diet's not working out for me, or like, I had a recital this past Thursday, so I couldn't do my usual Nostalgic Nirvana stream, and it was actually hard because I've not missed a Thursday since October. But I'm also not going to miss my kids' recital. Like, like family first, obviously. But it's just, even when you don't, like, people are like, oh, but diets are hard or exercise is hard. Okay, well, going to a job that you hate is hard, yet many of you do it for slave wages. But you still manage to show up for that. That's like, whether you realize it or not, that's discipline. Like, you have disciplined yourself to get up in the morning and go to a job that you dread or you hate or isn't your dream job, and you sit there and you are, whether you're mildly productive or exceptionally productive, like, you still show up and you're still productive. So you've disciplined yourself to do a job you don't love. So why aren't you disciplining yourself to better yourself? Like,
well, it's funny,
it blows my mind.
When we were having, like, talking about the usurping of the female form and stuff, it's like, so if I stand up straight, because I'm a dancer, and so obviously dancers have this reputation of slouching, and we do, and also I have been taller than there have been very few times that I have been able to look a woman either in the eye or up at her. I'm always taller. So I'm self-conscious about my height, so I slouch. I don't have good posture, but I'm trying to be better. But I'm tall, but God also gave me hips, and I've got a booty, and I'm not thin and willowy. But I was talking to Tugs about this, and no worries, Mando. Thank you so much. We're gonna wind down.
Bye,
me
Mando.
and Lady G just we love talking about all the things. It's like me and McKenna talking, but thank you so much for being here, darling. You were amazing dropping all those links, girl. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So you have a good night, Mando. But it's like, I was talking to Tugs, and I was like, I want to get in shape for the Dallas meetup. Like, I've put on some weight, and I was like, I want to get back in shape. And she's like, I hope you're doing this for yourself and not for other people. It's like, no, I feel heavy. Like, I feel physically heavy. I feel mentally heavily. I want to better myself because I want to feel confident standing in front of everyone, because I haven't seen people in 2 years. Like, I take care of my grandmother with my mom. I'm not around people very often, and I'm very tired of hiding. And McKenna and I also talked about this on our stream, and that, like, when you stop hiding yourself, you step into beauty. And I have found that to be so, like, that was so impactful what she said. I have been buying clothes that are so far outside my comfort zone, but they are so cute. And like, I feel beautiful and sexy in them. And that's not something that I actively seek out. And that's not something I'm accustomed to feeling. But like, I want to step into that power. And so like, I feel like that's also why feminists hold themselves back from bettering themselves, because they are literally afraid to step into their power. Because look at Gina Carano, look how drop dead gorgeous she is. She has stepped into her power, and she's just gotten that much more beautiful. That's why they're so damn angry.
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. Like, when you can hold up, it's one thing if you can hold up like one example of someone, be like, okay, well, name one person who can do that, and then you give them the example. They're like, okay, well, that's just one. Like, you can't expect every woman to be like that, or every woman to hit that standard. But that's the thing. Like, when you start taking care of yourself, and you start feeling that, because when you start feeling that self-confidence and that self-worth, like that's been there, and you try to figure out like because you're trying to figure out, what am I as a person worth? Like, am I worthy of these things for myself? Like, that's what drives me crazy, is when people are like, well, my man loves me no matter what, or my girls will always be here for me. First of all, your girls will not always be there for you. And two, your man may love you at any size, and he's a good man if he does, but also I guarantee you he's worried for you, because part of his part of being a man is that protective nature,
Mhm.
and he doesn't want to bury you early. He doesn't want
Yeah.
you to go to the grave in your 30s, in your 20s. That's not fair to him either, to
No.
ask him to bury you because you didn't want to you know, be like not even, I'm not saying you have to go be a fitness model or a
Yeah.
swimsuit model or anything like that,
Yeah.
but simply just making those decisions to actively better yourself, whether that be honest to God, the simplest thing, guys, Tugsy,
Sweetie.
the simplest thing is, this is gonna sound so stupid to so many people, but discipline yourself for like portion sizes. Like
Mhm.
nobody's saying you can't have brownies or
Yeah.
ice cream or
Yeah.
or anything like that. Like
Mhm.
but when you eat 2 double cheeseburgers
Mhm.
and a large chocolate milkshake and a large fry and a large Dr. Pepper, like
Yeah.
that's like 7,500 calories in one meal. That's
And the thing is
insane.
also, it's like when I turned 30, I developed a lot of food allergies just out of the clear freaking blue with no family history of this whatsoever. But I developed an allergy to MSG. I'm allergic to pretty much all food dyes now, and a couple other things. And so Chick-fil-A, weirdly enough, is the only fast food restaurant I can eat from anymore and doesn't make me sick. But it's like I have it once every 2 weeks. It's a treat. Like the thing is, it's like it's everything in moderation. Why does everything have to be saturated? You can have a treat, but it doesn't need to be every single night. And it's like, and I'm not like I've got a tummy. Like I'm not like I'm a normally sized woman. But
no, the thing is, there's sugar, there's refined sugar in everything, and it's highly addictive. It's highly addictive. So
well,
it's
just like
not
MSG
even
is like crack.
well, yeah, but like that, and the thing is, like the refined sugar is terrible for you. There's no nutritional value, and it's highly addictive, and it's in just about all processed food because they use it as a preservative. And it makes you bloat. It makes it harder to shed fat. It makes all of these things way more difficult, and also you're much more tired because your body goes from having that instant, it's literally a sugar rush, but instead of like, you've got the kids who are like, oh, they're gonna crash because of the candy. That's what that's what adults' bodies do too.
Oh, yeah.
Like anybody that has to be like, oh, I need my caffeine in the afternoon, otherwise I get headaches. It's because you're addicted to the caffeine. It's like your body doesn't know how to function. Yeah, exactly. They have changed how they're making food. Very, unless you find like a mom and pop chain, like the food you're getting is mostly preservatives. It's most of it is from a lab, it's preservative, and they can say 100% beef, but then you'll notice that there's an asterisk or there's some super fine print or something like that. And a lot of companies are trying to switch to soy, like they're trying to do this whole bug. I'm not even gonna get into that whole nonsense.
It's a rabbit trail.
It's an absolute insanity. But the thing is, when you look at the nutritional value in fast food today compared to fast food from the past, it's not even close. There's it actually depletes your body of nutrients, and the terrifying thing is that the military, the Department of Defense, and I know SecNav came out, the Secretary of Navy. I don't know if Secretary of the Army came out and said anything, but Secretary of Navy is over the Navy and the Marine Corps because the Marine Corps and Navy work in tandem, right? But they said, and the Air Force came out, that they are having a harder and harder time recruiting young people because their bones are softer, they're weaker, they get injured more, and it's literally because of the sugar that's in everything and the diets that these kids are on. Even if they look like they're healthy, their bones are actually soft, and so they're getting injured faster, and the injuries are not healing, and the injuries are more severe. And so it's crazy when you look at where we've come in just 2 generations. Like in just 2 generations, millennials, that you have half of the millennial generation doesn't know how to cook. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to keep house. They don't know how they don't actually understand the difference between caloric intake, sugar content, portion control, portion sizing, and stuff like that. And it blows my mind when people like you just said, you don't know how to cook. I
well,
can't
and
even
for
believe that.
me, it's my mom detests cooking. I mean, she just hates it. And my
I get
mom was
that.
like, she was not one of those relaxed moms that would allow us to go into the kitchen and make a mess. Like that just, and so my sister is pretty good at cooking. And the thing is, it's like when I stand there and follow the recipe, I'm actually like, this is okay. I can do this. It's just like, also, I mean, and living with your mom and having an Alzheimer's patient, like, and also being now 102, it's like turning on the oven in the afternoon is not the first and foremost thing I want to do. So I mean, we do like salads a lot. Like we do cold stuff.
I'll send you some crock pot. I'll send you some crock pot recipes.
Thank you. That would be fantastic. Yeah, because so that's just our issue. So in any case, yeah, I don't know. So it's ridiculous, but the thing is also, it's just like, and this sounds so basic because like doing a bunch of research does seem so overwhelming, but I'm seeing people in the chat say like, fast food makes them nauseous. Yeah. Listen to your body and just start cutting that crap out. Like it's actually not that hard. Like just start cutting it out.
Yeah, it's crazy because just like you can discipline your body to like accept and reject certain things. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like this is gonna sound crazy, but you can train your body. We're gonna make a reference to the Princess Bride here, where Wesley built up an immunity to iocane powder. Like that line, but that's actually true. You can take small doses of poison and build up a tolerance to that specific poison. It is possible. Some stuff that's not possible, like ricin, that's just going to kill you. Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you can, and everybody's like, oh, you have that backwards, and I actually don't. When I say this, because I've gone through it several times. Where I've helped family members, or like I had to pull myself out of a really deep crevice of postpartum depression on top of a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And I'm still like climbing my way out of it. But the thing is, like, if you can stay away from something for 21 days, like just 21 days, if you can drink water, eat healthy, learn how to cook. If you have to get those freaking, I think some of the best things ever invented are like that Blue Apron or stuff like that. Get yourself something like that helps you with portion control and recipes and gives you ideas and a good jumping off point.
Az is doing that.
Yeah, so you don't have to stick with it, but those are great first steps to do it. But if you can do something for 21 days and you can stay away from something for 21 days, you will break old habits and you will start new ones.
Yep.
And that's honestly, like, I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but it's really not. No. But I think probably the hardest thing for people is to break, like, because you can pick up good habits, but if you don't break the bad ones, that doesn't matter how many good habits you pick up. And eventually you're going to start stressing out because you still have the bad habits, but now you have the good habits too. And they're going to be in antithesis to each other. Mm-hmm. Like you're going to try and do both things and you're going to realize you can't. Yeah. Like, I don't stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning anymore because I'm up at 4. Like I can't, I can't stay up that late anymore because I need to be up early. Mm-hmm. And so, if I stay up late, I'm not getting up early, and therefore I'm ruining my whole day because I won't be able to get my workouts in.
Yeah.
And, I don't know that my body needs workouts to function. I just know I feel better after I process all that crap out of my body.
Yeah, that dopamine rush. And like, I'm a yogi, and I firmly believe that like, when I'm in pigeon pose, they're like, yogis. And I know that there's like within Christianity, there's some debates about yoga. And I've never felt the Holy Spirit's conviction when I practice yoga. I feel nothing but peace. So I'm sticking to my yoga mat. But when I'm in pigeon pose, I can feel it when I'm stressed, my hips, it's almost that position is almost unbearable because it hurts so bad. And like when I'm not stressed, I can feel it when my fascia releases and I can sink deeper in. But I can do an hour and a half class and get into pigeon and be like, I feel like I'm cold. What is wrong with me? And it's like, well, I'm holding on to my stress.
Yeah.
So, your body will tell you what's going on.
Even child's pose. So I carry stress in my shoulders and in my lower back a lot.
Yep.
And so when I get into like child's pose, I'll just I'll actually it will hurt, it will physically hurt, and I'll be like, son of a gun.
Yep. Same here.
And I'll be like, and so I won't be able to do it, but or as well or as effectively as I could. And I think when it comes to yoga, I think what they're more concerned of is that you're going to go into you're going to stray from your Christianity, because yoga is very deeply tied to certain religions. That's why you say namaste, and you do the sun salutation stuff. But the thing is, if you can't find a way to recognize, because at least for me, yoga helps me identify if I am stressed out or not.
Yep.
It will 100% let me know, hey, you're so stressed that it's in your lower back and your shoulders and your neck and in your hips. That means I know that something really bad is going on that I haven't dealt with, and then I can go pray about it. So that's sort of how I approach yoga. I don't really do sun salutation just because that has I don't know, I have a really adverse react. My soul doesn't like sun sal.
Well, the thing is, that constant up, down, back, and that can actually make you really physically ill. See, and I love sun salutation. I can do sun salutation all day long. But for me, that's the only thing that'll kill my migraines. That is the only thing that will get my headaches and I get them so bad in the summer because of the change of pressure and the heat. So the heat radiating off the concrete, the glare, if I didn't have enough water that day, sun salutation is the only thing that will help my migraines.
Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. Yeah. I don't have a trick for my migraines.
Yeah. I'm sorry, dear.
But it always surprises me, when people, I guess, when people are trying to tell me it's almost like they're trying to discourage you from getting healthy, where they're like, hey, you know what? You've had 4 babies. You've earned it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. You've been in the you were in the Marine Corps for 10 years and you got, you went through hell. You shouldn't have, you don't need to worry about being, physically fit anymore. And it's really easy to buy into that lie when you are depressed. But the thing is, depression feeds, it's a cycle. Depression feeds more depression. So if you get mentally depressed, then you don't want to move. So now you're physically depressed because now you're putting on weight. So then you become even more mentally depressed because you're not as healthy as you should be, which leads to more physical depression. And it's just this vicious freaking cycle.
Yeah.
And so it's really, I firmly believe that the reason that everybody makes these comments, oh, feminism is a mental disease, this stuff is a mental disorder, but it's really true. I firmly believe that a majority of these people are extremely depressed, because when you are depressed, it is very easy to buy into denial because you don't want to deal with the depression, because dealing with your depression causes anxiety, and nobody wants to be anxious. Right.
Yeah.
And so it's very easy to just allow yourself to accept their statements of oh, you look great for having 4 babies. Don't even worry about it. You don't need to work out. What are you even doing here? You've earned it. Kick your feet up. But then what these people don't realize is, if you're not healthy, you're not going to be there for your kids, or you're not going to be able to keep up with your kids. You're not going to be able to do these things. Then your kids are set up with bad habits. And then they take those bad habits into adulthood, and now they're dealing with demons that they shouldn't have had to deal with because you couldn't get your shit together.
Yeah.
So the whole thing about if you have this idea that once you're married or once you have kids, you don't need to take care of yourself, you are lying to yourself.
Mhm.
Like, just because, yes, your husband or your wife should and most likely will love you at any size or whatever you look like, but like that doesn't mean that they should be actively encouraging you to commit slow suicide by fast food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what you're doing to your body.
Yeah.
Like, I had a friend wanted to go to Taco Bell like
Ugh.
3 or 4, I want to say it was like, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. I took like 3 bites and I set it down. And my body was like, what did you just put in me? Like, what is this in my
Gross.
belly? And I like got sick. I
Yeah.
was like, that was, first of all, it didn't taste good. Like, it was really, I don't even know how to describe it. It was like salty plastic that I put into my mouth. And it just wasn't good. And it was the same thing. Like, I basically drink water, and I do. So
Mhm.
fun tip for anybody that wants to start working out or that's working out and is looking for a post-workout snack. The best thing you can eat, as long as you don't have any like nut allergies, is, and most people frown at this, but I'm dead serious, 6 to 8 ounces of chocolate milk and a banana with peanut butter. You get everything you need to give you that little pick-me-up, that little boost so you can carry on about your day. It restores everything you need it to restore. It's freaking fantastic. You don't need to waste a bunch of money on post-workout stuff.
Problem that I have is that bananas make me feel shaky. Like, they mess with my blood sugar levels so bad. They make me feel like crap. So I wish I could do that, but I can't.
In your case, I would recommend a plantain.
Yeah,
But,
that's true.
So, but if you can't do that, like if plantains bother you too, you can always try. This is going to sound equally as bizarre, but you can always try cantaloupe with honey. But that's it's extremely sweet, and you don't need. So if you do the cantaloupe and honey, you have to do white milk. Otherwise, you're getting too much sugar.
Yeah.
But yeah, cantaloupe with honey and white milk is also a pretty good one, but it's not as good as peanut butter with a banana and chocolate milk. But if you can actually get into a healthy weight range, because like there is a range. Like if you're in the Marine Corps, my max weight is 165 and my min weight is 130. So I have a 35-pound range to be in. So like if you have a target weight, that's great, go for it, but make sure that it's in like a healthy range. But also like that's just if you don't plan to compete or like, because there's a difference between someone who's 5'5" and weighs 200 pounds and it's muscle and they're literally like a fitness model, and someone who's 5'5", 200 pounds and it's fat. You can tell the difference. You know what I mean? So like that's where when people are like, oh, the BMI scale isn't accurate. Well, no, it is for most people, but when you get into the people who have to do measurement, like tape, like they have to tape, which in the Marine Corps was a thing to do. If you were overweight but you were clearly in shape, they would tape you. And so you have to do like your neck, your torso, your waist, your hips. Like women and men have different measurements. But basically what would happen is if you were overweight but you made tape, it meant that you were most likely, you were just muscular. And, the excuse is, well, muscle weighs more than fat. So how do you, so 200 can be healthy. First of all, your skeletal structure was actually not made to carry around 200 pounds of weight, regardless of it being muscle or fat. It's just people who have the muscle are actually taking care of themselves. And so there's less stress on their skeletal structure, even though it's still there. But you should always try to shoot for your ideal weight range solely to avoid skeletal stress. Like, I don't think people understand your feet hold you up all day. It's your feet take all that weight. So regardless if you're muscle or fat, if you're heavy, you're heavy. Like it's literally just the way that it is. So you guys really like it. I hate when people discount that, or they don't actually realize how sore their feet are until they like sit down or something. And I'm like, well, yeah, because I mean, I got 2 uncles. I love them to death, and they're huge dudes. Like they're 6. One of them is 6'6", and one of them is 6'8". Like I got tall men in my family, but one of them is 420 pounds. The other one's 400. Like they need to lose weight.
Yeah,
they have to. It's
Yeah.
not healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, lady, I don't mean to cut you off, but on the note of food, I actually do need to go eat something because if I go to sleep on a empty stomach, I will not be a good person in the morning. So I
No,
need to
you're
go
totally fine.
grab a little snack before I wind down, and I also I
Are you
need to
Central?
go. No, I'm Mountain.
Lucky. I miss Mountain. I was just in Mountain. Mountain time is
Oh,
the
really?
best time zone. It is.
But
the
no one
best.
remembers that it exists. They're like,
Yeah,
"Wait,
which
what?"
makes it all better. It's all the better because I'm like, yeah, Mountain time, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
the magical time zone. That's
no
what
one
it is.
remembers what exists.
It's all
So,
good. But
anyways.
I was gonna say, so it's 8:45 for you, right?
It is, yes.
I don't. So, what time do you normally wake up, or what time do you plan to wake up tomorrow?
6.
Okay, so that means. So if you have it, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you have it, I strongly recommend, you just take a breast of chicken, you soak it in a little bit of salt water, then you put it in some tin foil, season it up a little bit, throw it in the oven for anywhere, depending on the size of the breast, anywhere from 12 to 17 minutes at 400 degrees. And eat a carrot with it, and you'll be full. You'll be full, and drink water. You'll be full. You won't have any indigestion, and you'll be able to sleep better.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, but if you have that, that's what I recommend. And especially this late in the game, I would stay away from carbs. Like most people get indigestion because they eat carbs about anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour before they go to bed, and it causes lots of problems.
Yeah.
That's just my suggestion. You don't have to do it.
Well, and I also, if I have anything too outrageous, I'll have incredibly bad dreams, which doesn't help the problem at all.
There you go.
So, yep. So, anyways, all right. Well, my dear, I just don't realize this whole time I haven't had my ring lights on. That's why I look like I'm sitting in shadow. That's embarrassing. Oh well.
I thought you looked great.
Thank you. I have ring lights. I just forgot to turn them on. My dear, where can people find you, and what have you got going on?
Oh Lord. Well, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Lady Gravemaster. I do Nostalgic Nirvana every Thursday. I've got videos in the works if I could ever find time to just, the recording is actually not. It takes about 30 minutes to record, but like the editing is just. I'm not Perry Chan.
Yeah,
I'm not Perry Chan. I just can't. It's terrible, but I'm trying for you guys. I am trying. But yeah, so I'll have vids coming out. I've got some live streams planned, and I've got if you are a member on my channel, I've started a book club.
That is so awesome.
And our first meeting is this month on the 25th, and we're covering A Tale of Two Cities.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I really, for the first 3 books, we're just going to do like standalone works. Mostly because, one, I'm trying to avoid this turning into a strictly Tolkien book club. Also, I found out that when I picked this book, I thought that just about everybody had read it. I found out that a lot of people have not read this book.
I've only read pieces of it.
And they're like, I've never even heard of it. Who's it by? Like, well, I'm like, guys, it's Charles Dickens. Like,
insane.
It's one of his most prolific works. And they're like, who's Charles Dickens? And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, you know who Charles Dickens is. I'm like, it's freaking A Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Like, I always have to go to A Christmas Carol. It doesn't matter if I say A Tale of Two Cities or Great Expectations or anything like that. It always comes, like, I have to say A Christmas Carol. But yeah, so we're covering Charles Dickens, and I really want to get into Redwall, but that's a whole series. And so
that's 21 books.
Yeah, I can't do, like, we could probably do the first one and be okay.
Oh, Lord Brocktree is kind of out there though.
Well, but it's good. Okay.
No, I know.
This is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you just want to do the one, then just do Redwall. I wouldn't start with Lord Brocktree because that sends you down the rabbit hole.
good. Then maybe they'll pick up the rest of the other ones.
Well, that's true. Okay, fair enough.
But no, so yeah, you make a good point. So rather than Lord Brock, we'll probably just do Redwall then. But
Yeah.
like that's a 21 book series that I would happily have everybody dive into with me. But it's the same reason I'm not doing Wheel of Time, because that's a 14 bricker. So I'm trying to do standalones before we get into anything that's really that takes a lot of commitment. And anything like that. But so those are for members only. The streams, when they happen, they'll be live streams, and they'll be for members only, but then those streams will go public after.
Nice.
And then hopefully everybody enjoys the conversation and everything like that. But for those of you that don't know, Alasia knows this. The reason that this started is because I got kicked out of my in real life previous book club.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said a court of thorn. I'm going to get it wrong. Is it thrones or thorns? Thorns.
A court of thorn and roses.
A court of thorn and roses, I said, was
a little bullshit.
It was smut. It was porn on pages.
Yep.
And all of these characters were selfish and irredeemable, and they were all villains. And they were like this one in particular chick was like, okay, thank you very much, bye, we don't need you anymore. I ended up throwing a cupcake at her. It's a whole thing. But it basically boils down to SJWism has invaded book clubs as well. And I said this the other day because I've been trying to do some research for like dark fantasy novels, standalone novels that I could do in the book club, because I do actually enjoy dark fantasy when it's like trolls and elves and goblins and they're battling. Yes, there you go. The blue sword.
Please include this one. This is a good standalone.
I will put that on the list.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's like I'm trying to find a dark fantasy that would be good for book club, and they all have these. I read one that it said it was. Are you ready for this? It's Hades and Persephone.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Hades and Persephone. I know. Meet Beauty and the Beast, and I was like expecting to be floored, because when you make a declaration like that, you best deliver. Like,
no, I looked up that book because I love that story of Persephone and Hades, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
I was crying.
I thought that it was going to be. I was like, okay, like Persephone, Hades, and a Beauty and the Beast sort of combination. I was like, this sounds like it's got potential. Like this person's not pulling any punches. They're clearly confident in their ability. And then I read it, and that's when I put, please, for the love of God, stop writing in first person. And while we're at it, quit making smut books and calling them dark fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with it. Like, I love the Dresden Files, but the crap that's being produced right now, and they're classifying it as smut, has completely overrode dark fantasy. Like, it's absolutely abysmal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's stuff that we're going to talk about on like book club streams.
Nice.
So other than that, you can find me on Twitter, and I am on the Insta every now and then. Wait, TRW 1974. Do you actually not know who Charles Dickens is?
I think he might be joking.
I hope he's joking.
We'll see. I don't know. So, all right, my dear. Well, I have got to head out. Thank you so much for hanging out. I adored having you on. I feel like you and Max have just like struck up a bond. So you guys can have your pro Silky stream, and I will have an anti Silky stream.
Every time Max and I stream, we have a good time.
Good.
I adore Max.
Yeah, he is a great guy. He is a great guy, and I'm so blessed by everyone I've met in this fellowship. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you for your donations. Remember, at the end of the month, I will be taking 10% of everything I earn in the entire month, and I will be donating it to a charity. This month will be Albuquerque Christian Children's Home, which is very similar to El Ranchitos de los Niños. They keep abused kids out of the foster system, and they don't break up families. That's where the money will be going this month. So thank you guys for blessing me so that I can bless these kids here in Albuquerque. God knows they need it. So I adore and love every single one of you. You guys are incredible. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for 53 likes. I can't believe it. We will see you next Sunday. I might be having a birthday stream coming up because my birthday's on Tuesday. It's super last minute. I'm so ashamed of myself. I let the time slip by. So hopefully I will have an announcement about that tomorrow, about when my birthday stream will be. And I am so sorry I let time slide. But I keep an eye on my social media. I will let you guys know when and if a birthday stream is happening. So until next time, guys, much love, and we will see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.